Sorry, skip cat. Okay. Oh no. I always do this. I always start streaming and then realize that I don't have my glasses cleaner. It should always be right next to my computer. It never is. Like, I have a spot for it. And that's where I always look, and it's never there. I think I would learn by now. Alright. We'll try that out. We'll close that. We got YouTube going. I really hope I set YouTube up to not be members only. Let me check real quick. Yep, it's on members only still. Brilliant. Hold on a second. Public. Done. Save. Okay. The music is going nuts today. But I think that's okay. It's at -40, so I hope people can hear it or not hear it, depending. If it's too loud, we'll change it. I don't know. It's Friday. It's viewer suggestion day. We're gonna draw some stuff. We're back on YouTube and Twitch, which is really cool. Twitch is losing its mind, but we'll deal with that at another date.
Or will attempt to.
Yeah. It may just implode. Hasbro's firing people. Twitch is getting addicted to boobs. Like, the world's going to hell in a handbasket. We still have like 15 days left. So, welcome in, everybody. What are you drawing today? It looks like a chubby rugby.
It's gonna be a beetle.
It's gonna be a beetle. Okay. Because I mean, like, check this out. I'm gonna draw on you real quick.
Yep.
Got it.
I see it now. The wide head is definitely rugby shaped.
It's a chunk bee. There you go. I heard Atomic. There we go. Hello, Atomic. Welcome in. We got some Yoshi tongue action going on. I'm here for people to critique the music today. I swear that basically every other week I have to go reaffirm that Pretzel Rock, I do have a license for it. And I think it's because of, like, people that are not Pretzel Rock are trying to steal my like 30 cents I make from live stream advertisements. And so every week I have to go through and be like, hey, Pretzel Rock, these guys claimed me, and then they like sue them for me, which is great, for my 30 cents back. But yeah, if the music is driving you guys crazy or you want a different kind of music, that's fine. Let's find some cool music that people like so that I can very much like curate it to not be annoying, and that'll be awesome. Oh, I might need to refresh the YouTube stream here. There we go. Chat publicly. Okay. We're good. That's back up. I'm going to start drawing because I'm just all over the place today. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird week. It's been a weird month. We're back. Yeah, let's have a chill time. I finished the video audio yesterday. I had to rewrite the script. But I'm much happier with it now. It's generally how it goes.
That's good.
I was going to...
New drafts are usually better.
Mm-hmm. I was going to send out the Patreon rewards, like, this weekend or next, like on Monday. And then I realized that I have not printed the Nothic stickers yet. So, I might have to wait. I have two stickers I need to print. Elven Hair, hello, welcome in. So, we'll see if I can get those printed, like, within the next day or two. And hopefully they'll still go out next week. Dun, dun, dun. Ba, boo, ba, boo, ba, boo, boo. How are you doing, Elvin Hair? Hope you're doing well. This isn't bad. Okay. Yeah, this is, I think, the World of Warcraft playlist. Like, it's on Pretzel Rock, so it's like it's their own curated music, but it's all YouTube safe, technically. As long as it doesn't start playing it did some bagpipe music the other day, though. I was just like, what's happening here? What's going on? You know that part in World of Warcraft where they play Amazing Grace? We drew some rugbies yesterday. That was pretty fun. I posted the sheet of them, so if people would like to use those for like gift box tags, you're welcome to. It's in the art share on the Discord. I'll also be sending some of those out to the Patreon members. Druid, welcome back.
Thanks.
We were talking about maybe doing like a Christmas party on the Discord. I think that would be kind of fun. I'm not sure if it should be like a drawing thing or just like board games or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Last year you did or maybe it was the year before that. I think it was last year. You did the rugby Christmas drawing challenge, and
that's right.
Very few people participated in that.
Yeah,
which was a little bit sad.
Something I'm noticing with our community is there are a lot of lurkers, which is okay. Like, that's totally fine. Western Justice, welcome in. Because for every people we have hanging out in the Discord, we have like a few hundred people that watch the stream, but they don't comment, which is fine. Like, comment on the videos, but like, so we still have a pretty big audience, which is great. But I'm trying to find content or things that we can do with people that don't directly want to have to talk to people. People that just like can interact on polls or through the posts, or maybe we do like a giveaway of some kind, like a special drawing giveaway or something to that effect. How big is your list today? Let's see. We have 14 left. So I think I've been getting through about 6 to 10. With Druid here, we might get a little bit more, so we might actually finish today, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Depends on how active I'm going to be today. I'm, full disclosure, not feeling great, so I might be a little bit grumpy, a little bit spicy.
That's fine. Just keep the politicals at home.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I have not had the energy to engage with that recently.
Da, da, da.
I found a, I've been getting a bunch of shorts for a Pathfinder 2e Let's Play campaign that actually looks really funny. So
nice.
I'm thinking I'm probably going to start watching that.
Oh, did you get the Humble Bundle? The Pathfinder 2e Humble Bundle?
No.
Do you want it?
I don't know. What does it include?
Let's take a look here. I've lost everything. Hold on. They might have changed it. Nope, here it is. Okay. So they have a whole bunch of Fires of the Haunted City, Against the Scarlet Triad, but then they also have the Player's Guide, GM's Guide, Beastry 3, some maps, Monsters of Myth, Legends for Lost Omens.
Okay. I think I looked at it, but I already have, I bought a bunch of those independently as they were released.
I kind of figured, so that's why I'd asked.
So, yeah.
The core rulebook.
Yeah. I've looked at the And I had no idea what to put on my Christmas list, so basically the remastered went on my Christmas list because I don't really want any more material possessions at the moment. I just want to be healthy.
So you need like a Goop subscription.
No.
When conventional medicine doesn't work, call the kooks. Oh, let's see what's going on here. D66 style? What are we talking about?
I tried Call the Kooks I tried the kook alternative medicine in my 20s, and it did less than my doctors refusing to help me. So, we'll leave it alone. Gwyneth Paltrow can suck the fuck.
Yep. Western Justice asks, "Can I tell you a true story of my life? As long as it's YouTube appropriate and not derogatory towards anybody." How goes everything? LG, it's going pretty good. Elvin here says you feel better, Druid.
Thanks. Yeah. I've gotten over my cold. I still feel drained.
Call it
flu.
Brain Damage Champion wins 4D chess against Florida School Board. Let's avoid that. Let's avoid that for right now. I'm trying to keep things non-political today.
I don't want to hear anything about Florida or Texas.
Yep.
Unless it's that they have been radically changed for the better and are no longer Christian.
Evangelicalism. Who was that? Zappa? Zappa's the one that rallied against church and state?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it anyways.
Yeah, nope.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Let's bash on the government.
I don't celebrate Christmas. It's blessed Yule, thank you.
Here's my argument on that.
I
know. You're just
totally
being...
joking. Okay, what's your argument on that?
My argument on that, just as an aside, if you're so bent out of shape that you get mad when people send you blessings or greetings, that's your problem. That's a you thing. I will never be upset if somebody wishes me like a happy Hanukkah or like season's greetings, happy holidays. Like those are all great.
Yeah.
Thank you for being wonderful people. That's all I have to say. The whole story is making fun of me and how I somehow graduated. Well, congratulations on graduating. If you must tell it, you can, but I probably won't read it to the chat. Just because. I'm honestly survived. I survived. Well, I don't want to talk about high school either, but I'm surprised I survived high school. I'll put it that way. So, that's as far as I will go with that story. Rugby and a scarf. It's time. It's that time of the year. I've got a pretty good rugby gag for the next Why You Should Play video. I have to draw that today at some point. So there will be rugbies. I was real excited that I could draw sexy owl ladies on Twitch yesterday. I might still be able to, but I'm not sure. I have to double check with my lawyers. Same. I do get some joy at seeing the religious zealotry folks try not to be snap when I reply with things that don't convey to their particular holidays. Yeah. Unknown Eldritch, hello.
That's why I said blessed Yule, because it's...
I'm just a chaotic guy sometimes. Yeah. I had a friend that was... What's the term I want to use here? He was a troll. That's the easiest way to say it. And so he loved messing with religious people at the university. And so he'd go around and be like, wait, what are you celebrating? Just to mess with people. Like, what holiday? And then people would get mad, and he would just, jizz his pants by making people miserable. So.
I think you have probably told a couple of stories about this character.
Yeah. He was one of my first DMs. Like, he just loved messing with people, and it was like, whatever. This sounds like StarCraft music, which is not what I'm into today. It's called Chastity. We're gonna skip this one. This is better. This is more what I want.
Hello.
Welcome in.
Hey.
Is this an adequate rugby for the day? I feel pretty warmed up.
Looks real good to me.
I need to build my desk today. Like, for Christmas, I got myself some spring clamps. Or not spring clamps, but like C-stain clamps.
Uh-huh.
So I can actually mount my microphone. But to do that, I need to get the bars set up. So I'm gonna rebuild my desk. I'm gonna put like floating bars over top so I can hang up my camera and my microphone. It's gonna be amazing. Happy Christmas, me. It's a weird point in your life when you're excited about clamps. That's all I'm gonna say to that.
From the perspective of a 10-year-old, yes. From the perspective of Adam Savage, not really.
Yep, it's just being old. It's just being old. How goes it, Corvus?
I didn't sleep until like 4:30 this morning.
Oh,
so
lordy.
I'm kind of exhausted.
I think I might be getting a cold. But I also think that, like, I spent the last 3 days underneath my car in the cold, in the rain. So it's like my body could just be not great. Like,
Yeah, could just be not happy with the exposure.
recovering. I'm in recovering mode. A warm rugby is a warm-up. Yeah, I like it. Western Justice just going through tests by choosing random things. I mean, what is it? Just like a 25% chance every time you answer one of those? Statistically better, if you guess. I did that for one test and got like a 24%. So it was like I statistically chose wrong more. It's like I did less than the average. So I didn't do that again.
Yeah, my luck has always been shite, so...
Let's see.
More experiences to that.
What is the topic saying here? Hold on a second. I gotta catch up on Twitch chat. I want to make a squire background. I was thinking about having it come up with a table where you roll your mentor knight's court of service and their fighting style. Okay. So you're creating a grid for which one to pick randomly? Because like you can just use a percentile chart for that. That's way easier. If I do that, I want to draw each knight, so I would commit to like 36 knights. I see. Okay, that's why you want the chart. Scroll up and then read this. Yeah, sorry. I mean, if you want to do 36 different knight orders, that's great, but like, are you ever going to use 36, or are you like world building so you can make this for other people?
Yeah, I'm also curious about how you would actually use the squire, because that's not going to be a player class, because a squire is basically a paladin in training.
Yeah.
Or that's what they should be, a paladin or a fighter in training, right? So like that, it would not make any sense to have a squire as a playable class.
Yeah.
It's an NPC thing.
And then having
They
it...
didn't mention
Yeah,
class.
you didn't. Yes, you said squire background. Just
So
which I think the background's a cool idea. The question is just, are you trying to make 36 different backgrounds, or is it going to be the same thing and you just have like pick a different flag because currently that exists in both Pathfinder and D&D. And what you do is you pick it, and then it just says you like the requirement is that you are a squire or knight of a local place. So like it leaves it vague so that you can pick whatever you want, and then it fits into every world because people's stuff already does that. I don't know if the squire exists, but like I guess I'm thinking of like the purple knights. Purple knights, that's how that works. That is a class, not a background. But that's a prerequisite, is that you choose a faction or like a city-state or a governing body, and then that's your banner. I have the basilisk. Hello, hello, hello. They would be NPCs that got trained before they became knights. Yeah, that could be fun. I'm playing in a world where people have contracts. Contacts? I hope you're doing well. I am doing well. How are you doing, I hope things are going well. I just finished drawing the rugby. I think I turned it off. I did. I think I'm ready to go. I'm going to roll the dice. If people have not suggested their characters, the way this works, you can suggest your D&D character, your Pathfinder character, whatever. We put it on the list. We roll the dice gods decide what we draw, and then we go from there. So, if you have not suggested one yet this week, I still have the list from Monday and Wednesday. But you are very welcome to add one now if you have not added one. I'm going to go ahead and start rolling some dice. I rolled a 2. This dice I have is rolling very low. A Kuatoa Cultist of Cthulhu. Great Old One Warlock. That's a pretty good one to start with. I like that. I like that a lot. So what we're going to do, we're going to start the colorful.
Maybe not talk with your pen in your mouth?
I'm using my hands. That's just confusing people. Doing really well. My chronic illnesses are in remission. Nice. Congratulations. And I have an RPG night tonight. Well, that's really good. Playing a world building one, and I'm really excited. That's very cool. Having specific people within factions is going to be important of the game I'm running. All right. That's really cool, Atomic. Yeah. I think that's fun. I would look at, if you're rolling a whole bunch of D6, you're never going to roll one or like, you can't roll one, so take that into account. And 36 different factions is a lot to build yourself.
Yeah.
I would highly suggest looking at something like the Guild Guide to Ravnica. That's a pretty good like example of like how you would do that, and that's a whole book. So take it one step at a time. Go easy and have fun with it. Yeah. Let me get a shout out to Leslie. What just happened? Okay, Twitch once again just exploded, so that's fun. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get you a shout out here, and it keeps fighting me. I don't know why it keeps being mad about shout outs. There we go. Yeah, okay, that worked. Skipped years of high school. Western Justice, you have a very colorful past. LG, may I? Question mark. May you what? Suggest a character? Says yes. You're very allowed to. Very welcome to. Never tell me the odds. Yeah, no problem, Mike. Keep up the good work. I like the dragons and stuff you've been drawing. I guess they're animal fusions? I don't know if they're just called. I don't know if you just want to classify them as dragons. What was I drawing? Koatoa. Fish.
Yes, great old.
Yeah. Great old one. Fish. Booger. Right? Should I make their face a squiddly bit? Or should I make them... Maybe I should go more catfish. That could be interesting. I feel very inadequate drawing a goofy fish monster next to what Druid is drawing. This is Steve. Hello. Okay.
Well, I've spent a fair amount of time on this, so you should not feel that way.
I love the Steven dog meme. He's one of my favorites. Trying to talk through your teeth. Roll a d6, then choose one faction. Roll another d6 and choose the mentor fighting style. Okay, got it. I misunderstood, Atomic. Thank you for clarifying.
36 total combinations, not 36 different factions.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. I also misunderstood that.
That's much more achievable, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Based on a mudfish. Okay, yeah. I did a Koto barbarian once wearing fishnet leggings for someone once, and I was like, it was a time. Yeah, I could imagine. I need to draw more fishnets, like fishnet stockings. Those are fun. Very, very 90s.
They still do it for me. Oof. I love fishnets. That's one of the things that I actually try to avoid drawing so that I don't, like, give myself away, you know?
My fetishes! We playing D&D tomorrow or Pathfinder?
I thought, are we gonna finish your campaign?
We can. That's what I'm asking. I didn't want to just hijack. I didn't want to just hijack the game. So, if people want to go back to 5e, that's fine too, and take a break and come back.
I have been out of commission all week. I'm curious what you think that I might actually have prepared.
That's fair. Okay, Cthulhu. What is does Cthulhu have a sigil? Because we have like the King in yellow, and then we have a Haster. I think is this one. I might have those backwards.
Cthulhu or Haster and the King in Yellow are the same thing.
Okay, then I definitely have those wrong.
The King in Yellow is the play that Aster
Okay.
created in one specific, I guess, iteration of his worship or him using art to drive people insane.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure.
I think the idea behind it was with Haster specifically, like just the knowledge of knowing about Haster, like, is enough to send you down the path of insanity. Like, symbol of Cthulhu, Elder Gods. Okay. The god making reverse mermaids. Yes. Let me take a look at this. Okay. It's just an eldritch pentagram.
Yep.
I can do that.
A star within a star, but at a weird angle.
Mm-hmm. What did they call it? I think they described it in the book as eldritch geometry, or non-Euclidean geometry.
Right, because
Things within things.
yeah,
That's
because Lovecraft was afraid of math and reality.
Talking to people. Being empathic.
the ocean.
The ocean, yeah. Lovecraft had some problems.
Yeah, the fact that that there were colors that existed that people could not see.
The character I do was a PC, and their concept was that they were a cleric, but actually they were a barbarian. Oh, okay, I get it. And they worshipped a god that didn't exist, and not enough Koto believed in them. That's pretty good. For them to become real, and that was fun to draw. That does sound pretty fun.
I won't be able to stick around too long. I gotta wash dishes soon. Yeah.
Well, Western Justice, I'm glad you graduated. Congratulations. I'm glad you got through that. It sounded pretty tough. Life can be rough sometimes.
I wish I could tell you school is the worst of it. Well, it certainly does not help.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it helps.
People go around eating other people in their dreams. Lovecraftian ghouls. That's fair. That's fair, too. And batteries low, I'll leave soon. All right, Western Justice, that's no problem. Thanks for hanging out today.
Yeah, we'll see you later.
Stay around when you can. We'll catch you next time.
Alright. I think that's enough of this beefy bug boy.
I love drawing catfish.
They're
weird.
They're really weird and they're really easy.
Yeah. They're just like, they're penis shape and like fish scaled.
Yep.
Like not, or I guess they don't have fish scales, which I think is interesting. So
Yeah.
Like very basic shapes, but they end up like twisting and stuff into pretty cool
Well,
stuff. Like the
I
barbel.
think most
Love
don't.
barbels.
I think there's like maybe 2, maybe 3 catfish that have scales.
Oh yeah.
Or scale-like things on them, because there is a armored catfish.
Okay.
So it is.
I thought that's something that Breath of the Wild made up.
No, those are real
Yeah.
Amazon catfish. Any weird catfish is always either going to be in the Amazon or somewhere in the Congo.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's catfish in Idaho.
Yeah, but the weird
they're-
ones.
They're not weird. They're standard.
All right,
there.
that's fair. Since I missed posting this week, I will also ask for one. Harrigan Swarmkeeper. Did I miss one? I think I missed somebody's suggestion. Maybe not. Harrigan Swarmkeeper Ranger, talking with the leader of the spirits that live in the trench coat, and has a cigar. Okay. It's like I don't know what that is in reference to. It was pretty good. I'll put it on the list.
I'm ready to roll. What dice am I using?
Go ahead and roll me a d20.
All right. 16.
Reroll.
Okay.
We have more than 12 and less than 20.
9.
Okay. The male Anthro Wolverine Barbarian with 2 big war knives.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. Has anybody here yet watched Z Frank's latest video? I think it came
Like
out
snake
yesterday
cats or
on
whatever.
Snake cats.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This was the first time I'd seen like good footage of a Wolverine. I did not realize how fucking huge their paws were.
I have a fun story about Wolverines if you want to hear it. He was a large-eyed, pointy-eared. His body is similar to a tonberry, the shape of the Minish people from Zelda. Okay, 2-foot-tall goblin on the list. I used to go to the Boise Zoo all the time because I lived near it.
Mm-hmm.
And my cousin and I one time were there, and this is when we were very, very young, and we were short and couldn't see over the wall, and we wanted to see the Wolverines, and they were like burrowing, and so we're like, well, that's stupid, we can't do that. And so my cousin and I like hiked each other up and pulled ourselves up so we could jump down into the cage. And we did. And I was luckily ripped out of the cage before the Wolverine hit the wall. The next year when we came back, the entire display was completely barricaded off with like plexiglass. And it's like, oh, that might have been my fault. So, I don't know. Yeah, Wolverines are big. Big and scary. There are weird catfish in Europe that eat pigeons. Interesting. Oh yeah. I've seen some of those. Like catfish are big. Yeah, Elven Hair. I was not a smart child. I was a very plucky child.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Catfish will also eat anything that fits in their mouth, so.
Fish ate my baby.
There's the I don't know if it was River Monsters or just like a Shark Week thing about the nut biting fish. The ones that
there's definitely a yeah, I think that's the name of it. There definitely is a River Monsters episode on the Paku.
Yeah, the Paku, that's right.
The ball cutter, I believe is the name of the
yeah,
episode.
that's right. they need teeth so they can break open all the nuts that fall in the water.
Yep.
They just
And they
happen
got
to have evolved mouths and teeth that look horrifyingly human.
Mm-hmm. Not make the Wolverine go hombre. That's fair. Like, Idaho is weird because, yeah, they're like, no one's gonna climb into the Wolverine pit. It's like, well.
You, sir, have underestimated a child.
Yeah. Me and my cousin, like, through the course of my life growing up with them, like in Idaho, I've almost eaten it many, many times. Yeah.
They almost got eaten.
Almost got eaten several times, yeah. Bears, cows, horses, fish, snowmobiles, inner tubes, yeah.
Yep, oh yeah.
I think I've drowned 3 times, like, but not to death. Just what do you call this state when your lungs are full of water, but you're not dead? Is that considered drowning?
Suffocating?
Depending, I think it's in the process of drowning.
The process?
There's definitely some sort of medical term for having lungs filled with fluid.
It's like smoke inhalation, but with water.
Yep.
There's a reason that my rook skull is a skull. Let's put it that way. I've flirted with death most of my life. That's life north of the Snake River, exactly. Or on the Snake River. Yep.
Judging harshly.
It happens.
What were the weapons for the Wolverine?
It just said 2 big knives.
2 big knives?
War knives. So, I don't know, big meat cleavers.
I like the Kenpo knives, whatever they're called. Are these things? Yeah. Which are essentially meat cleavers, but
they're not butterfly swords, are they?
oh, that sounds right.
Yeah, that what you drew kind of resembles a butterfly sword / knife thing.
Pulmonary edema is excess fluid in the lungs. Okay. I remember the first time I ever went whitewater rafting. I was wearing a life jacket, so like I wasn't really in any danger. But the guy we went with, who I think was one of my cousins, like one of my older cousins, just like picked me up by the life jacket. He's like, "Okay, if you want to go on this trip, you got to be able to pull yourself into the boat." And then he just threw me off the boat. And it was like, this is kind of traumatic, but also fun. So, yeah, Idaho is a weird place.
Yeah, that would mostly be traumatic for me. I don't think I would ever go in the boat ever again after that.
Got to learn by doing.
I think that is an excellent litmus test for who should and should not be allowed on a whitewater raft.
I mean, it's not wrong. Yeah. Can you pull yourself out of a boat or into a boat? Yes or no? You get to stay behind with the gear.
First of all, only crazy people go white water rafting, in my opinion. So, all the crazies in Colorado, Utah, Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
How am I gonna... Wolverine that does not look like bear is gonna be hard.
I mean, they do look like bears. They're little tiny
I know.
bears.
I know.
I mean,
Are you still adding things to the list? Yeah, you're welcome to add one to the list if you like.
they're wolf bears.
Young Rook taking the challenge of Molly Hatcher's Flirting with Disaster. I don't know that. Is that a book? Movie? That must have been like a family thing, because my dad, I think, also did that to my sister. Once again, wearing a life jacket. But it's just like, you want to learn how to swim? Off the dock. Which to me was hilarious. And when it happened to me, I was ready for it, because it happened to her first. She didn't like it. She didn't go in the water for a while after that. It's kind of traumatizing. Didn't like boats. I love boats. Boats are great. They keep you out of the water.
Until they don't.
Yeah, until they don't. Build better boats. That's all I'm saying. Spring Eldrin Bard got cut off from Daddy's money and sent to the material plane. He's a brat. Little head. Nice. Okay, we can do that. I don't think I've drawn a Spring Eldrin Bard in a long time, so that's a good one. That is a good one. Alright, it is on the list. I am lollygagging. It's already 12 o'clock, and I've drawn half a fish. Okay.
Here you go, Jared. This might help you.
I'm gonna point out, I enjoy the Mannheim Stream Rollers, like every Christmas. It's great. Good flutes. Flog and Molly, good flutes. I'm not a big fan of flutes otherwise. They keep putting flutes on this playlist, and it's like, why so many flutes?
It's fantasy.
Because fantasy, sure. Everybody's got a flute. I feel like Koatoa are kind of supposed to be a little bit gross. Or at least they're supposed to be a little bit, like, just a little too fishy.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Mostly fish.
I think
Like-
they are cave-dwelling fish people.
Yeah. Like, kind of the merfolk. Like, merfolk are supposed to be a little too beautiful. And I think the Koatoa are like, what if just really fish? Just lots of fish. Like, too much. Just too much fish.
An anthrofish that's more fish than anthro,
Yeah.
and as fucked up of a fish as you can find.
A hyperfish with just like Barbie legs sticking out of it.
Fish.
Learning how to pull
Sick,
yourself
of
into a
course,
boat,
really.
201. A 101, yeah.
Huatoa are mermaids that Sid from Toy Story designed using offcuts from his other, air quotes, creative projects. Innsmouth vibes? Yeah, 100%.
I was looking at toys for one of my nephews.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, maybe I'll give him like a Mario action figure because he likes Mario. That's great. And they have a whole. This is something I just thought about because I'm drawing this. They have a whole line of action figures from the Mario movie that came out, the new one. Mm-hmm. And like the Mario action figure is like fully posable. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. And then they have Mario, Luigi, Peach, and then Toad. And the Toad one is just like, it's like posable into 3 different positions. And I'm like, why did they just skimp on Toad so hard?
And I'm drawing it now, and it's like, you can't really make a Toad posable. He's just a brick. He's just like, his arms can move, and his legs and his feet turn. That's it. I don't know how else you would do that. Sorry, that was a weird segue. This is a bad story. I do like the armored catfish. That looks really cool. Can I make this guy a little more plated?
I think I've decided that a Wolverine's knives, like the only appropriate knife is a Bowie knife.
A Bowie knife. That works. That's not a knife. That's a spoon. See, you've played Knifey Spoony before. I finished work for the year. That's awesome, Nebby. Congratulations. Take the rest of the year off, I guess. I always like getting towards the end of December when you can say that kind of stuff. It just feels very good. Like, oh, don't have to do this anymore for the rest of the year. That's a next year problem. Thank you, I will.
What's the deal with Goombas? That's like the most ideal form of the mycelial Bowser could make. Yeah, I don't know. It is a little weird because like the toads they're toadstools, I guess. So like, are they just a different type of mushrooms than the Goombas? Are Goombas like baby toad people? It's a little weird.
That's a terrifying hypothesis, because that basically means that Bowser would be recruiting child soldiers and then putting the child soldiers on the front line, and Mario would be slaughtering children.
I mean, yeah. I mean, so just to put what you said into perspective, Birdo is a bird that shoots its eggs out of its mouth at people, and Yoshi also does this. So that's 2 creatures in the same universe that just don't care. Like, so I think that's viable. I think that's a viable thing. A cactus fleshy gunslinger with a cannon larger than they are. I like it. Welcome in, gamer.
I'll put that on the list for you.
That's just your investigator.
A little bit, yeah. Fire the cannons.
Alright, I think I'm getting the face about right. Bear with cat features equals Wolverine.
Yep.
True,
Like,
they
take
are...
a badger and a pine marten and fuse them together and supersize it.
Yeah.
Take a bear and drop a tree on it.
That's
To make a flat bear. That's all it is. It's just a flat bear.
Flat bear.
Yep. Evolution is weird, yeah.
Goombas could have been mutated toadstools. Oh, I guess that's true. Because you have 2 things. You have 2 things in the mushroom kingdom. You have the mushroom people, I mean, I guess you get the Lakitus now, too. Alright, there's a lot of things in the Mushroom Kingdom. The Mushroom Kingdom doesn't make any sense. But, like, at least with the Koopas... Like, the Koopas and the Dry Bones. It's like, okay, Dry Bones are necromantic Koopas. That's great. That works.
Yep.
The Hammer Bros are just, like, beefed out Koopas. That's fine. That's fine, too. And then you have the guys that are in the clouds. Which ones are they? I can't remember what they're called.
The Lakitus.
Is that the Lakitus? I thought the Lakitus were the... What's the new from Wondrium? What are the little weird plant people?
I don't know.
The ones with the weird noses and the feet. I think you might be right. I think the Lakitus might be the ones that are flying around in the clouds. Still kind of Goombas. They're like soft-shell turtles. It's kind of how I look at them, but... same thing with the magic ones, that like the wizards with the wands. Like, I think those are the same ones, and they could just be weird Koopas. So... Isn't there a game theory about this? Ooh, there might be. We should watch that.
I don't know. I don't watch the game.
What are the Shy Guys? Yeah, the Shy Guys are creepy. Like, I don't know what the Shy Guys are supposed to be. Pangolin, a cross between an anteater and a pine cone.
Why you don't push trees, people?
Sorry, go ahead, Corvus. What was that?
I was gonna say, don't make fun of my precious little pangolins. They're adorable.
They are very cute.
Like, I even find the giant pangolins kind of cute.
I think they're pretty cute. I don't think that's too much of a hot take.
I would like to retract my hot take from yesterday. I told you that darts are kind of dumb.
Mm-hmm.
I watched someone make a build using darts in 5e. Just like, okay, when you build it this way, they're great.
Have you ever been hit with a dart?
Alright, so my main complaint about darts, though, is just how inconsistent they are in their various descriptions and images. So, art-wise, they're often depicted rather small, like a Roman dart.
Yeah, like Lambada.
Yeah, like one of these things.
Lambada. Basically like a supersized
It's a lawn
dart. And then, but like when you read the descriptions for them, they are longer than arrows but shorter than javelins. And it's
Okay.
like,
And designed to be thrown by hand, yeah.
and just like, and then when you look at like, they range from plumbata to arrow length, but like thicker, or just full on like ballista
Ballista darts.
Just that you threw by hand. They were fletched, sometimes referred to as fletched javelin. So it's just like, headache.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating. Because I always thought it was. I mean, they did minimum damage for a long time. Like they were like a D2 damage, I think.
Yeah. I think that's because those ones were not
Blow darts.
the historical like full range of darts. I think that they were just lawn darts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Miller, welcome in. Nebby got Pokemon DLC installing. Ooh, I didn't know that was DLC.
Nice.
That's exciting. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm done with
I
that
think
one.
it's-
I'm gonna move on to the next one.
I think it's the first one. I could be wrong. Maybe second one.
Fluffy snow leopard tabaxi that can fashion portals into blades. We had a conversation about this one because I didn't understand the blade knife thing. But I'm just gonna make like psionic blades. Fluffy snow leopard tabaxi. Let's do it.
Soul knife.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting way of making like a soul knife. Little condensed portals that you're throwing and teleporting around with.
I think the idea of it is that, like, the whole, if you have a portal, it's infinitely thin, and therefore can cut anything in half.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's what they're going for, is, like, infinitely sharp blades. But, yeah. There's the whole, maybe we shouldn't talk about paradoxes, that always breaks the internet a little bit. But there's a whole couple different videos I've seen about, like, the portal gun, and if you have an object and you swing a portal at it, how fast does it come out of the other side? And like it's all based around reference reference inertia, and it's a thing. It's bad, but or like what happens if you pass a portal through a portal. I love that kind of like theoretical physics because like you can't test it, but at the same time, it like Jump Rope and I are both well educated, and we had like a 2-hour long almost argument about it. It's just like yeah, it's great. At the end of the day, I think she was more correct, but but it's one of those things where it's like you're both right, depending on. But first, you have to say that this is the stipulation that would make this a thing. Like you can't test it, so it's like you have to choose your parameters. Do portals work like A, or do portals work like B? Yeah. Paradoxes make me want to do somewhat contradictory things. Yeah, we usually don't talk about them too much because they break people's brains real fast.
It's weird that you brought this up because I was scrolling through shorts yesterday, and we all basically agreed that me and Rick don't watch Big Bang Theory, but it was this funny interaction between two of them, Sheldon and this, I guess the woman he eventually dates in the show. She basically is just dissing him because he's a theoretical physicist, i.e. not a real physicist. It's like, your stuff can't happen. It doesn't exist. So you're a weaker scientist. I was like, I feel like yelling that some days. And just like, we can't prove it, so it ain't real. Let's just focus on real stuff that we can handle.
I mean, that's dangerous for someone who is a like theologian major.
Hey, I never said I was fully agree with everything.
That's fair.
Nobody is ever consistent, so are fully consistent.
Whoops. Hold on a second. I wanted a reference for a snow leopard. Sorry, Druid.
No, that's okay. I was confused for a moment there.
It was also kind of creepy because it was just like Wolverine head just materializing out of the snow in the background. Like, that's kind of creepy. Tavern darts. But yeah, John's basically right. They're basically throwing daggers in 5e.
Yeah, I mean that's a better way to do it because yeah, I think thematically, like I always thought of darts as something that you could conceal a little better than a dagger. Like that's the the reason to do it because like they're just smaller. So whenever my first few characters I ever played were halflings. Halflings are I essentially wanted to be a hobbit, like because I'm basic like that, and yeah, so darts like made perfect sense. I was like, darts are really cool. You just like have them in your pocket and you pull them out and you hit somebody for 2 damage. Darts are not pub darts; they're basically throwing daggers. 5e smaller than Roman darts, bigger than game darts. Closely analog to my mind is a kunai. Yeah, and I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Either go play a Paradox game like Victoria 3 or play one with 2 WOD mages? World of Darkness mages?
I had always assumed that the difference between throwing knives and throwing darts as weapons was simply the fact that one was fletched and therefore had greater accuracy at longer distance.
Yeah, that's generally. Throwing knives are spin stabilized, so you have to have basically a set distance at which you throw them, or at least set distances of known throw. You can't throw them at variable ranges.
Yeah.
What is the range for darts? 20 to 60 feet.
Yeah, you get the full 60 feet, so that's cool.
For darts.
Daggers is going to be 10 to 20, I think, or 10 to 30. Because it's a melee throwing weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're throwing acupuncture needles.
It's the same.
Is it really?
So, yeah.
Well, then they did it wrong.
That surprises me. So
No, it surprises me too.
At least in 5e. So basically, if you want... Though darts do have a slight advantage over the dagger in terms of because darts are considered ranged weapons, not melee weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So they qualify for the archer feat and sharpshooter
That's cool.
and other stuff. So, as well as the throne.
I was gonna say, I mean, I think
Throw
you can apply those to
fighting
the
style
thrown
thing.
weapons too.
Because they are thrown, so. And I think that's why this guy D6 or something like that, D4, whatever, used darts over daggers because more feats could qualify for the darts
That makes
over
sense.
the daggers.
But I don't think, because they're ranged, you can't do a melee attack with the darts.
No.
Another weapon the D&D botches is the blowgun. I think the designers were thinking of flute-sized tube. I've seen hunting blowguns; they are not small. Yeah, they get real big because the longer tube you have on a thing, the more pressure you can get, and the more damage and speed the dart will do. Which is fun. Like I love blow dart guns; they're really fun to play with.
Yeah.
I will say it's not just D&D in this case, Pathfinder as well, because in Pathfinder they only do 1 damage.
Yeah, the original
that's
intent.
specifically because they're designed to deal poison.
Yeah, that's correct. I would agree with that. Is that they're designed to be a poison delivery system, and then the real problem is that 5e just botched poisons, flat out.
Yes.
Like that's
100%.
so, which makes the blowgun completely useless.
First edition Pathfinder poison was not great either, but it's better than 5e.
Yeah, it worked really well for like things like the Gripply that had their own poison.
Yeah.
And then they had an
And
alchemist build
there were
that
a
was
fair number of classes that gave you not necessary. Some that gave free poison, and some that gave you feats to make poisons better. Like rogues had some cool rogue talents for poisons.
Yep. Alchemist had a thing that let you like dilute them, so you could use them more than once, which was really helpful.
Yeah.
Things like that. And they had stuff like the Adder Venom, which was just an additional d6 of damage. So you could always just do more damage with a weapon, which was great. Blowguns make very little noise, makes them great for hunting and assassinations. D&D, you automatically drop stealth after an attack, making stealth surprisingly impossible. Yeah, that's fair. I do think that kind of stuff is kind of missed out. But then again, if you did that, then everybody would just have silenced crossbows or whatever the hell you want to use for it. The blowgun having a automatic stealth reapplying, that would be pretty cool. I think that would be neat. Point blank darts do deliver alchemist mutagens. Oh, cool. Okay, that could be fun.
I got to go
Okay.
for now.
Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you later.
See ya. Proportions on this are hard. Any short, stubby, thick arms, long, noodly, but also flat body.
Yeah. I do have that problem with a lot of Anthro stuff. It's just having to draw body proportions wrong frustrates me.
Yep.
Because it's not wrong for that creature, but I'm just used to drawing things with a humanistic proportion, and so
Draw an elephant. It's oh man, just this is weird. It's not impossible, and it's not bad. It's just hard sometimes.
Yep.
It would be interesting an idea to engrave a silence spell on a gun or normally loud weapon, since engraving enchantment is a thing. Yeah, you could do that. I would allow you to do it when you did. The way I would do it is if you put a silence spell on a ranged weapon or something like that, when you attack with it in stealth, I would force you to roll a new stealth check. Or allow the thing you're shooting to make an additional roll against your stealth, and maybe you don't become unstealth. Kind of like how with if you have the permanent invisibility, like because there's two spells. There's one spell that it goes away when you use it, and there's another one that you're just invisible for X amount of time, and you can attack. A greater invisibility, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's greater.
The higher level one.
Yeah. And so when you do that, it's still like, just because you're not seen, like, I still would argue that the people you're attacking still have a chance to be like, what was that? Where did that come from? And then I'd be like, that attack came from over here.
If
I do that for players
make
too.
I don't usually have you get a new stealth check. I usually, I want to rule that they get a new perception check.
Yeah, I think so. Because I do that for players. Like, that's the real reason, is that, like, if you guys are attacking something invisible, anytime someone takes damage, I will give you a chance to try to figure out where it's coming from without being like, he's right here. So I think that's important. I have the Basilisk says, I'm the other way around. People are hard for me because I'm used to animal shapes. Yeah, absolutely, same thing. There was a big thing when I was in college that we used to talk about all the time, and it was hard surface versus organic, especially for 3D modeling. It's very different. It's a very different thing, and your brain just kind of has to shift between the two. And that's why a lot of people, I think as well, are really surprised when they're like, you can draw sci-fi stuff? It's like, yeah. I mean, because that's essentially what it is. It's just a completely different style. And I do a little bit more of an organic style anyways for my sci-fi stuff. Like, drawing Gundam wings would be really hard for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was still pretty floored by your, because I saw your D&D character stuff first. I think the first thing of yours that I saw was your Kobold video, where you drew Spurt.
Yeah.
And then when I saw your Warforged stuff, I was like, holy shit, this guy can do everything.
Yeah, I love drawing robots. That was my first passion. That's probably not true. I drew a lot of superheroes, but then I spent a lot of time drawing robots in college.
I did a lot of hard surface animation, which was a lot of fun. Have you guys had any experience running or playing a game that focuses on seafaring exploration and combat? I actually just got through one. Kevin the Necromancer was running us on a ship. We didn't so much do like ship-to-ship combat, but we were in charge of doing like ship things. So he made a whole bunch of roles, including like maintaining cannons and making sure we're aiming the ship in the right direction. But he had a captain piloting, so we didn't have to actually pilot the ship without being like, we need to cut right, or we need to get this side of the ship facing the right way. And that worked out pretty well, because that way we didn't have to worry about, ships moving hundreds and hundreds of feet away from each other. It was just, we're only focused on what's happening on our ship, and then we're seeing it happen around us. That worked out really well.
If you want to do ship-to-ship combat, essentially you need two maps. That's really the best way to go around it.
Yeah.
You need an on-ship map, and then you need a world map that's tracking the ship as a single unit.
I have not ever done a campaign that specifically focused on ship-to-ship combat, but like I've done large open world campaigns where travel and vehicles, like in general, were fairly important. And if I were going to do a naval focused sort of thing, I think that's what I would fall back on. I don't think that the ship itself is necessarily as important as how you handle the travel around it.
Yeah.
But
so something I think Kevin did really well in that aspect was we were essentially, Jump Rope and I's characters had a mission to do on the ship, so we were kind of separate. We were trying to investigate people on the ship, but Danny and Lars, the two other players that were playing the ship, the crews, like the cook and the medical officer. And so every day they would make rolls to like, how well can you feed the crew? Did you make food that they liked? Like, were people happy with it? Did you make enough? Is the food spoiling? Whatever. And every day that they did that, the next day the ship would get bonuses to like, yeah, we actually traveled a little farther than we normally would have. So you cut a few hours off the trip. Or this crewman was sick and you failed those rolls. And so now we're down
we're down some of the deckhands, and so people have to work double shifts, and they're not happy. So, like, morale bonuses, I think, are really important when you're doing something like that on a ship.
I think that was a really cool thing to add.
Yeah. But you also kind of have to be careful when you add stuff like that because it can really bog down a game. So you really need to be you really need to understand what kind of game you're running, and what stuff you add is or is maybe not appropriate for it.
Yeah, because if you want the players to be like intrinsically linked to the ship, like actually fighting with the ship, then really you need a way for the ship action to like do its own thing, and then give the players something to make that happen, right? So like, you're in charge of the cannons.
The cannons need to fire normally on the ship's turn, like just regardless. You need to give the players a way to interact with that that's not, roll for attack, because that's going to get really tedious. Roll for a scurvy check, kind of, yeah. But I think you're right. Like, defining what part of the ship combat or ship traveling is very important, because if you do all of it, people might get disengaged.
If you do too little, then it's boring.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the argument people had when the new Starjammer stuff came out. Is lots of people wanted ship to ship combat, but WotC decided like, no, we're not going to deal with that part of it because that's a whole other type of gameplay. So we're going to focus.
We're not gonna deal with it.
Yeah. So they did the micro map. Is that right? Macro map. Basically, if there was fighting to happen, you rolled dice, and then you went into a main combat, just a one-on-one combat, like a normal combat scene between ships. You never played outside of the ship as the ship as a character. That's really confusing. Sorry about that. But that's what people want, and there are rules for that in 3.5, I think, as well as the old. My brain is not good right now. I just said it. Space shooty D&D.
Starjammer.
Thank you.
The old Starjammer.
The old Starjammer.
And then beyond that, there have been probably hundreds of like third-party systems designed to shoehorn like naval combat into 5e. So I guarantee a Google search, like a basic Google search, will find you something functional. I'm giving myself a difficult foreshortening angle on this other arm. I gotta get this other knife in.
So if you'd like to clarify, John, if you have some of those answers, let me know, and we can talk about it more, because I have lots of stuff for both of those types of play.
The other fun thing that Kevin did that I think was really smart, but also it has its drawbacks, is I think the crew dynamic is really important. And so what he did was those rolls we did worked for everybody on the crew. And then when like a sea monster attacked, he would send off like 5 people would cast Breathe Underwater, and they'd dive into the water, and then you don't get to see what they're doing. And he would just kind of like take part of that combat out of the equation so we could focus on the ship. Or if we wanted to go into the water, then they stayed on the ship, and he let that happen, right? So he kept those things separate. But your roles helped the other people. So that was the cool way to do it. It's like you're still interacting with the crew, but the crew is simplifying combat, like in every aspect of it. So you don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
Find what your players are interested in, and let the crew take care of the rest, because that's their job.
It's kind of a basic sort of game design thing that you say whenever you add something, it needs to have consequences for the players.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, there's no point in adding it.
I've made this guy so chunky.
I mean, look, snow leopards are like owls. They
Yeah, I
are.
guess so.
They look super chonk. They all look super chonk, just because their ears are really small and they're all floof.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he can look super chonk. That's fine. That's appropriate.
There's something
Probably weighs a $1.25.
Yeah. There's something similar for space opera games. I think you'd really like the Star Without Numbers, Rook. I'll check that out. People have told me about that before. You might have told me about it before. I'm not sure, but I have heard about it. It's free as well. Because not only is there the possibility of ship-to-ship battles, there's also ship-to-monster combat, or even remote bombardments on a target. It just adds more than you might not want to do. Yeah, exactly. And so we did ship-to-land combat, where we were on land and the ship was firing at us. And then we also did like monster-to-ship combats, which were eventually sunk the ship, which I was bummed out about, but that was part of Kevin's story, so just let it happen. I want to draw the portal weapons here. Sorry. Dang it. I didn't mean to put that on the same layer. I would have put that on a separate layer. There we go. Reference, people. Use it.
Have I made this head too flat?
I think it's good. I think maybe it's not that the head is too flat, it's that the head is up.
Yeah.
Because, that's kind of the difference to me between a honey badger and a wolverine. It's like a honey badger is always like, and a wolverine is kind of always squat. So I don't think the head is too flat at all. I think it's just up higher than you would normally see a wolverine. Like you would see more of the shoulders more than anything else. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it at all. I think you're doing great. That's what I'm saying. I think the roundness you're seeing is actually shoulder mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire.
The characters look like they're from the same fantasy Wisconsin. Yeah. In my game, the PCs are passengers, with NPCs doing the ship work. Okay, cool. I want to test the player's interest in seafaring without making them commit to a ship purchase or learning shipfaring skills.
That's
smart.
a good idea, especially if you've been doing other things and did not market this campaign to them as, let's be pirates.
Yeah. What I would do is I would see... This is something Kevin did, which I think was really smart. He basically wanted to give us the option of what we were interested in. So he sat down and had the captain bring us to a table, and he's like, okay, these are the 3 things we're going to see. We can either go talk to these pirates because we need to get something from them, which will cause us to basically take a small skiff and go to shore, right? Or we can go this way, which is dangerous because there are the possibility of sea monsters. Or we can go hunt down these other pirates. We're going to chase them on their ship. So that way you can kind of gauge, do players want to do ship combat? Do they want to fight monsters? Do they want to just use the ship as a transportation device? And in each one of those situations, you can have things like things attack the ship, whether it's just tentacles or Sahagin or whatever you're doing there. As well as, with sea monster attacks, sometimes outrunning them is the smartest thing you can do, right? So what can your players do to aid the mages that are blowing wind into the sail? You have to protect them from the elements or from things being thrown at the ship, right? Just engage with them at each of those points. Do you want to try to outrun the ship? Do you want to engage the ship? Etc. etc. Just keep, and then give them roles that they can help with that in some way. And sometimes what I'll do is just, if you want to use a spell or an ability you have to forego a roll, I think that's great. I think that's really smart. As you approach the planet where your enemies are based, you ready yourself to land. glass the planet from the surface. What? I turned the guns to make sure that the continent is a crater. That's a big ship. You're telling me in a world where spaceships are a thing, they don't have like orbital defense lasers, or we'll put a defense here, but we're not going to defend it in any way, shape, or form. So, same thing with like large cities in a place where dragons live. They probably have dragon defenses. They might not be good, but they're ready for them.
Guarantee there are arcane cannons or ballista or trebuchet, or there's anything in the D&D universe, like any city in the D&D universe that does not have siege weapon defense is a city that does not last more than 3 years.
That's what we call dragon horde fodder.
Yeah. And any village that does not also have like strong wall defenses and siege weapon defenses and a strong militia, that's goblin fodder.
Goblin fodder, yeah, that's good. I do like the. I think Halo was probably the first time I ever thought of or had reference to something glassing a planet. And I still love that concept of just the Covenant coming in and just hitting a planet so hard that it just turns everything on the surface to like molten glass. It's like, ooh, creepy. Scary and creepy. Love it. There's a lot of unexplored lands west of the Sword Coast. I was thinking of sending them to okay, I can't say that word. Maztica? And having them use the base to explore the rest of the continent. Yeah, that sounds really cool. So if that's your intent, I would not have the ship be just like I said, staging ground. That's what you want it to be, staging ground. Like, don't make them have to combat anything on the ship. Maybe give them roles or effects to speed up the ship, keeping people's morale high, keeping defenses up, watching out for dangers. Maybe have a hazard that is people getting knocked overboard, or like I said, Sahagins or sea goblins attacking. That can be fun. It boggles me how many times such tactics seem to work when they should have had such defenses. Yeah, I mean, like, I think you'd have to have that
Just lazy writing.
Yeah, it's just lazy writing. But we have the stealth ship. I'm like, yeah, you have the stealth ship. You don't have the ability to glass a planet with a stealth ship. Like, what are you talking about? We need to pick up a spaceship from the starport. Does that puddle jumper, does it have the potential to glass a planet? Like, oh yeah, all of our ships can glass planets. We have the what do you want to call it?
7 million megaton nuclear capability.
What's the word you would use? It's not interplanetary. Interplanetary weapons of mass destruction. Like,
yeah.
I like the idea that, like, so in the Expanse is a really good thing to think about in this situation, is the Rocinante, which is the main ship that they use throughout the series, is it's not a shuttle. It's like one step up from a shuttle, like a frigate, I guess. Like, it holds a crew. It holds a crew of about 20, 30 people of, like, Marines and technicians.
It's a transport, not a warship.
No, well, it is a warship. That's what I'm getting at. Like, it's just big enough to hold a platoon of Marines. Like, that's the size it is. It's like, this is to transport a crew, and it is fully functional to have them live there and fight in it. And that, like, it's also supposed to be one of, like, the most advanced ships in the galaxy, does have, like, nuclear warheads on it. Tiny nuclear warheads that are supposed to be big enough to, like, hit another ship. That's how big it is. So normally when you have a ship like that, it's supposed to be able to take on ships of its size. Or maybe one size bigger. That's probably not enough. Could it nuke, like, a building from orbit? Maybe. Yeah, you could probably do that. But, like, yeah, you're going to have a ship that's, like, bigger than the building you want to destroy if you want to just, like, nuke something from orbit, right? So, I don't know.
most of the people in the Expanse are driving around in what is essentially like freighter trucks. So I don't know what your party bought, but yeah. One of my favorite conversations I hear in Mass Effect was the drill sergeant educating 2 recruits on why they shouldn't eyeball firing guns capable of weapons of mass destruction. Oh, just because of like the splash. I was thinking of Starship Troopers. Why do we have to learn how to throw knives when we can just nuke them from orbit? Hard to push a button without a hand.
Medic!
Medic! Yeah. Medic! Such a brutal good movie.
Yeah. It's very funny to me now that I'm much more aware of Neil Patrick Harris
Oh, yeah.
as an actor to realize, oh yeah, he was in that.
He used to be Doogie Howser. It's so funny how popular he is, and I think most people don't know who Doogie Howser is anymore.
Yeah. I'm legit curious how long he's been out as gay, and that I don't remember any controversy about that.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, I know he got married. I remember. That's like the first time I ever remember hearing anything about it. It was when he got married. But yeah, I don't remember it being a big deal. I'm sure it was, but it was a long time ago. Lack of inertia, bullet goes on forever at that speed. Yeah, basically an armored personnel barracks. Yep. There's a lot of fun stuff in the Expanse books talking about that, like when you have to be careful about when you fire guns, because you fire them and it's like hopefully they just get picked up by like Jupiter's gravity well, but you don't want to accidentally shoot something that's gonna like get pulled into Earth's orbit. You just don't. So there's the little things about that, but when you pull the trigger, you ruin someone's day somewhere. Could have the ship you were aiming at, the planet behind it, the solar system, both hits 10,000 years later. Yeah. The Expanse series. I don't read that many books. I'll just put it that way. The ones I do read, like if I like them, I will read the whole series. So The Expanse is one of those series that it's just like I love it. It's great. Dresden, same thing.
I need a healing.
I really loved Ender's Game. Unfortunately, the whole series was not worth reading.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway.
I've read a few things where like I'll read one of them and just be like, nah. Good. So it happens. But like, yeah, The Expanse is one of the good series, and I think it's done. Like, it ended weirdly, but I think it ended. I don't think they're gonna write anymore. It's kind of an open-ended story. Trivia: the Sarge in Starship Troopers is based on a real guy, Dan Daly. He's the one that said, "Do you want to live forever?" before leading a charge into the enemy machine guns in World War I. Bummer. Rough stuff. I think I'm done with this. I don't know what else to add to it. Portal Cat. I'm gonna make him a little fluffier. Did I hear the bud dumps? Was that in the music? It was in the music. I thought somebody started playing the Jaws music.
I was a little worried.
Did you guys know that there's a soundboard on both Discord and Twitch? He and most of his men survived. He is considered the greatest U.S. Marine who ever lived. Wow. All right.
And now he's immortalized in Starship Troopers. I still think it's funny how different the book is from the movie.
Yeah. I mean, the book is kind of a serious sort of treatise on militantism. The book is fairly serious. The movie is absolutely not. It's Michael Crichton, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
I read it at the same time I was reading a bunch of Michael Crichton shit, so...
Starship Troopers was written by... Robert A. Heinlein?
Oh, there we go. I don't know what's going to happen. Is YouTube going to be mad at me for playing this? We'll find out, Tommy. We'll find out.
That's right.
Bum, 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 bum.
Robert A. Heinlein. That was also the time that I tried to read Strangeland. I only read that book.
I don't know what that book's about, but I've been told not to read it, so...
That book is about...
Thank you, Atomic.
It's about the apocalypse of Earth and a Christian cannibalistic sex cult
Gotcha.
that saves reality from the Martians.
And now I can't hear anything? Oh no, how loud was that? Was that super loud? I'll turn down the sound alerts. I feel like that stopped like halfway through. I don't know what happened there, but still good. Loud music. Yeah, my bad. A little bit, it was okay. I turned it down a little bit, so we'll go from there.
It is very weird to me how much Stranger in a Strangeland made it into the cultural lexicon.
Did you ever watch the movie A Boy and His Dog?
Maybe? That sounds familiar.
I think it's Bridges. God, what was his name? Shoot, no.
Damn Porter Bridges. No.
The guy that played Nash Bridges, who was that?
Jeff Bridges? No.
Maybe it was. Hold on, let me look. It's like...
It was Don Johnson. There we go. Okay.
It's about a guy in the post-apocalyptic future who's got a psychic dog that can talk to him. And it's like the general basis for tons and tons of weird, like, post-apocalyptic wasteland stories. Like, all the way up to Fallout. And it is just a super weird movie, because it's like, what if a 19-year-old kid gets taught how to live in the apocalypse by a dog? And it's super fucking weird. That's another one of those movies that kind of defined a genre and nobody knows what the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely feel that happens.
Okay, I think I'm done with this. I'm gonna try something a little weird to make this look a little more strange. I'm gonna give this knife a little bit of haloing. Try to make it look a little more like a portal gun. Just like seething off of it.
They call me the Portal Cat. Bo Bridges? Okay, yeah, no, yeah. Don Johnson. Don Johnson played Nash Bridges, which was a TV show I watched a lot as a kid, and gave me skewed ideas of how cops exist.
Don Johnson is a comedy actor, right?
No.
No?
Well,
Okay, I'm mixing them up then.
I need healing.
thank you for the...
Not the guy in the Apple Dumpling Gang.
Don Johnson was also in... let's find out. He was one of the guys in Django Unchained, if that helps. He is also the guy from Miami Vice.
Yeah, that helped.
He plays like hard-boiled cops. He does that pretty good.
I'm mixing him up with Don Knotts.
Okay, yeah. Two different people.
Very
different
different
people.
actors.
Thank you for the posture
Very
check.
Different bodies of work.
Whoa, Jeebus. Sorry. Phone call. Okay. I feel like I could noodle on this for a long time now, just to make it look a little more colorful.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do
That's
that.
me being a bad influence on you.
There was a day when you were gone, and I was like, okay, I have to draw this like Druid would. And I
No.
finished it, and I was like, I did all right. I hope I encompassed the Druid style in these.
Don't be like me.
I think they turned out pretty good.
That's good. It is great when they turn out pretty good, but like, I am a toxic perfectionist, as we have discussed many times before, and it's very frustrating.
What's the... I was talking to somebody about that the other day. It's just like the worst advice you can get is like, just be done. Just stop.
Yeah. No,
Like,
that
doesn't help.
that's not actually helpful.
The perfect is the enemy of the done, of the finished.
Yeah. I actually find it better to say the perfect is the enemy of the good.
I don't know about that. There's some like I want to say there's some opposite
Toxicity in there, in like
Yeah. No,
not so much,
100%.
not specifically what you're talking about, but like the as much as, how do I say this? People have used that as an excuse to not put time into something, and that's like the opposite problem that also pops up. Is people are like, oh, I just I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. It's like, well, that's apparent. Like we could, and so yeah. So,
Art teacher Rook coming out full force. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know exactly what you're talking
okay.
about.
So I'm totally fine with. I think a little bit of toxic perfectionism is actually a good thing, and then learning how to curb that is kind of the challenge.
Yes.
It's finished when it's finished. Exactly. I'm gonna take a quick break, refill my water. Everybody hang tight, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna roll some more dice. I think we just did 1 per hour, and that's not good for me. So we're gonna have to try to speed this up.
Pretty good for me.
It's pretty good for you, but I want to get through at least 3 more, and it's already 1 o'clock. So we're gonna see what we can do about that. Hang tight, everybody. I will be right back. Bum, 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 bum.
And I am gonna wrap this up. Because it is looking pretty good. Put a bow on the badger. No. No, Atomic. Wolverine. Alright, that makes it better. I'll do it. No, it's a little bit late to be adding a bow unless I put it on his ankle on this back foot.
Okay, we are back. Oliver, I drew a hand. Nice. Cosmic, welcome in. LG, welcome back. I'm not sure if you left, but I haven't talked in a while, so hello, welcome back. Working myself. How's work going for you? Guys are talking to each other, not me. That's fine. Don't forget the skip cat pets. I can do that. He's right here. We've got a heating pad under a blanket for him. And he gets very grumpy if you do not turn it on for him. So.
My blanket has not been pre-warmed, human.
Exactly.
Failing.
Now that I'm back, I want to add a little more to this. Sometimes walking away is good.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, add something extra to it. Just give yourself a time limit. Deadlines are useful.
Yep. No. I want this layer.
I don't think that's helping. I don't think that's adding anything. I think we're good. All right, moving on. Oops, I just realized it still says be right back. Let's get rid of that. Rolling some dice. My friend's favorite speech about perfectionism was from Bleach. Always strive to be better, but never perfect. Perfection is stagnant, never changed. Fair enough. I think that's the problem with toxic perfectionism, is that it's like it's just a feeling that you can't be perfect. Like nothing's ever perfect.
Yeah.
And I think there is the correction for toxic perfectionism is like better goal setting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Knowing,
the voice in my head that's telling me to be perfect isn't actually saying be perfect. It's saying you are better than what you've just done. You like you need to be better. You're supposed to be better. Everybody else expects you to be better.
Which I think is, like I said, I think it's like, that's a good place to start. Like, but understanding that you have that issue, because it's the same thing with like anorexia or other eating disorders. It's like the idea of wanting to be healthy is good, but when you can't understand where healthy is, it becomes a problem. Because it's like, oh, I'm going to exercise, and then you exercise until you kill yourself, just from exertion. It's like, that's bad.
Yep.
That's bad. It started in a good place, but you can't regulate it, and that's when people need help, and that's totally fine. That happens, and that's kind of what I think, like, the toxic perfectionism is too. It's just like, I could do better. I need to keep going. I need to keep pushing. It's like, you don't. Like, you need to be okay with these steps that you can take. So
yeah.
And that's
you
just
need to be okay with the fact that this is supposed to be a sketch.
Yep.
Not a $300 commission.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think something that helps with that, for me at least, was setting time limits. That was something I talked to you about before, with like starting to do commissions.
Yeah.
It's like, do a commission knowing that you can get so far, and then charge people for that time. And so it's like, I will be able to get about this, and that's what I'm striving for. That's what I'm going to tell you I'm going to get to, and that's where we're going to stop. Because otherwise, I could spend another 30 hours on this. And it's like, that's not what we want. So it is. It's
another 30 hours on it and still not be done.
Yeah. So I think setting limits, setting boundaries, setting the amount of time you're going to exercise in a day instead of hurting yourself by overdoing it. All those things are super important. All those things, like, I want to say moderation, but it is really just a type of knowing yourself and knowing how to deal with your own proclivities. So two.
Good advice for everybody.
Yeah, good advice for everybody. An ontological paradox existing in the present. That's not a real thing. I mean, like, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna type it into my computer and see if it like puts me on a list somewhere. But I think this is a
word I've heard before.
Yeah. The bootstrap paradox. Okay, that's not a character suggestion. It kind of is, but unfortunately, it didn't follow the format, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll again.
Bootstrap paradox is just Dr. Who.
I love bootstrap paradox. It's probably one of my favorite paradoxes. I said we weren't going to talk about paradoxes, but I still love it. Bri, welcome in. Hello. I lack self-control. Lack of self-control causes harm. Exactly, yeah. And it's not always something that you can just, force yourself to fix. Like, that's the big thing to remember. So, because, like depression.
Psychologist and I are working on it,
Yeah, same thing. Like, depression sounds like, oh yeah, you just have to not be sad. It's like, great, thanks, that's great. Like, that's not how it works.
Better? Why don't you smile more?
Yeah, why don't you smile more? I fucking hate it. It very much is.
Pretended you were happy, and then I wouldn't have to deal with your shit. It's basically what you're saying. Anyway.
We're bringing it back to art. That's also why, like, art communities are great. Like, talking to people and people being like, hey, where this is right now, I like it. I don't think you need to worry about being better. Like, this is great. What you're doing is great. So it's kind of, and it's hard for people to learn that point of just like, this is a finished piece. How's everybody doing today? Good. We started getting a little existential there, and I was about to talk about a bootstrap paradox, which, if people don't know what that is, it's essentially pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. So, what's the Doctor Who reference? If you went back in time and gave Mozart his own music.
You love music. It was you love Mozart. You go back in time. Mozart doesn't exist. You happen to have all of Mozart's music, so you publish all of Mozart's music and become Mozart. So who wrote the music?
Who wrote the music? Yeah. But it will never look. You didn't make it if you made it. One thing I heard before is that people don't like how their drawings look because it looks like they made it, and people have to be patient with when they made it better. But we'll make it better. Okay. Yeah, there's something to be said about. I'll find my art from like a year ago, and I like it way more than I did when I published it because I don't remember how I made it. Like, it's
Yep,
just like,
same.
oh, that's so good. But at the time, it was like, this could be better, right? That's toxic perfectionism.
Yep.
And a part of it is just like seeing all the imperfections that you know are there, or like seeing things that you could change, but like it would just take a lot of extra time and probably wouldn't add that much to the piece. Yeah, it all adds up. It all adds up. I rolled an 8, which is a Furbolg druid named Wholesome Gary. I think that's a mistype. I think we're drawing a wholesome druid named Gary that is a Furbolg. So we're going to do that. I don't remember what Furbolgs look like. What are we doing? Red? Red's a good color. I remember that suggestion. Yeah, it's worded a little weird. Sorry about the whole writing thing, but hey, it's my one. Oh, is that the one you suggested? Got it.
Don't worry about it. We get a whole bunch of fat fingers and autocorrect nonsense. It was still parsable. Just took a couple of reads.
Yeah. I just had to figure out what the hell's going on. Bri, how are you today? Are we doing well? Wholesome Gary, the huge Furbolg druid, yeah. Yeah, I do think toxic perfectionism is something that is really hard to fix by yourself.
Oh yeah.
Not saying you have to
100%.
like get a therapist or anything, but it's like,
Well, I have one, so.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That wasn't directed at you. True. You don't need a therapist. No, just in general. Like,
Yeah,
if you constantly feel like your art isn't good enough or isn't up to the standard that you like, really what is helpful in my experience is talking to people about your art. And sometimes that's like getting people's critique. It's getting and understanding how to take critique and how to ask for specific types of critique. Because a lot of the times for me, especially, it's like, man, I don't like this. And then when I ask people about it, it's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, like it's not really an issue that other people worry about. It's just something that I'm being critical of myself for. And so, yeah. Communities are great. Sharing your art is great.
Yeah. Communities are super important. I strongly maintain that art classrooms are actually one of the few classrooms that I think are really important to kind of keep relevant, because I honestly believe that people can learn so much more about how to draw from looking at their peers' art and watching their peers draw or do any other art than they can from even watching a teacher. Although formal teaching can also be really good. Space for artists and especially community spaces where art critique can happen are super important for anybody who wants to get good at art in a way that's not super toxic.
Yeah. I think another kind of aspect of it, which I see with a lot of young artists, is thinking that every piece of art you do has to be
The best thing you ever did.
the best thing you ever did, but also like hold up forever.
Yeah.
It's like most of the time the stuff you do in college is going to be garbage. Like if you come back in 5 years, you're like, oh, that's not good. Like I remember doing that. I was proud of it then, but now it's like I can do better. Because you don't see growth happen like instantaneously. It happens slowly over time. So there are times when I look back at my art and it's like, I really like this. Like that was a good piece. And there's other times when it's just like, ooh, yeah, we don't need to keep that. like it's just, that's just how it's going to be. So if you can get that out of your head of like, it's okay to,
have some bad art sometimes. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's really good. Start finding the things you like about your art and the things you want to change, and that's really, I think, the best advice I can give people.
Yeah, agreed. It really is necessary to phone it in some days.
Yeah. Sometimes you can do art just to practice something like line structure and line control, or do I like this type of paper? That's great.
Yeah.
Do those things. Explore. It doesn't have to be a perfect finished work of art because you're just exploring. So sketchbooks are for. They're great.
Yeah.
But I do run into those like art Instagrams and stuff where people will have these notebooks or sketchbooks that are just full of like really good art.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, man, it's like, that's not the norm. Most people are just doodling and scribbling and doing dumb shit in their sketchbooks.
Yeah, I see those as well, and like, maybe this is a little bit cynical, but at the same time, I think, okay, you did that one specifically for this sketchbook tour. You are not showing your daily sketchbook that you doodle garbage in.
Yeah.
This is your serious sketchbook, not your I need 5 minutes to decompress sketchbook.
Right. Yep. And I have so many of those on like Post-it notes that I just throw away at the end of the day because it's just like I just got to do it.
Oh yeah.
Whiteboards are great for that too. Just like getting shit out of your head.
My favorite thing to sketch in still to
It's
this
okay,
day,
this one.
because I'm a sculptor more than I am an illustrator, is kneaded eraser. I love to make little sculptures in kneaded eraser.
That's pretty cool. I learned something interesting about that stuff. Those things are waterproof.
Yeah.
I was emptying a glass of water the other day, and my kneaded eraser came out of one of them, and I was like, what? I must have like flung it or something, and it landed in one of my water glasses, and it sat there for like a half a day to a day. It still works perfectly fine. So, yeah, who knew? I guess it's just rubber, so.
Yeah.
All right,
They
Bryce
actually-
says, I gotta check up on chat real quick. Worshipping at the altar of evil, witchcraft, and sorcery. Normal day and averages. Fair enough. I'm not great at art at the moment, but once I'll be positive. At least I'm trying. That's good. Yep, keep trying. I'm gaining a greater understanding of light and shapes. Good. Like that's a great place to be. Just
Yeah. As long as you're still trying, you're still an artist.
trying to draw and finding places to practice between classes, job, sleep, and gaming. Yep. Yeah, I used to do a lot of, like, when I was playing games with my friends, like, a lot of my sketches happened, like, in downtime, like, waiting for people or hanging out with people. It's a great time to just doodle. The problem I find trying to draw is finding the time to practice between oh, okay. I read that wrong. I read that twice. You don't always have to, like I said, you don't have to sit down and do a whole piece of art. You just have to practice the things you want to practice.
Yeah. Drawing is actually kind of really weird in that it's not exactly like riding a bike, but there's a lot of it that is just muscle memory. So it is something that I think that you can put down for a fairly long time. And when you pick it up again, you won't be exactly as good as you were when you first put it down, but you can get back to that point relatively quickly.
Yeah.
So don't worry too much about that, about falling behind, about not being where you want to be.
I stopped drawing for 4 years.
I stopped drawing for 7 years because I was too sick to do anything.
Yuck. Well, I have 2B pencils and a cheap sketchbook. That's kind of what
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite sketches I ever did were on lined notebook paper in scripture marker.
There you go. I used to use just like my go-to for a long time was just mechanical, like Bic mechanical pencils.
Yeah. The point is like your material does not define you as an artist.
Yeah.
Like use
Thank you, Tom,
fucking
for the attention.
anything. Yeah. One of the coolest sculptures I made in college was made out of chewed bubble gum.
Ugh.
I chewed it myself. Don't worry, I didn't go around collecting gum.
I knew a guy like that. I loved and hated his work. Like, it was just like, I get it. It looks cool. What you're telling me is great. I hate it. I hate it. I don't want to be near it.
It's not something I would have normally done. It was for a assignment that was specifically non-traditional media.
Okay.
Anyway, what does an 11 get me for a prompt?
Kirk. My 2-foot gray goblin. He has large round eyes and pointy ears. His body is similar to a tonberry. And his head is shaped like the Minish people from Zelda. I don't remember what the Minish people look like.
Me neither.
Tiny gray goblin.
Okay.
Oh boy.
To Google, I need to do research.
Tonberries are fun. Tonberries are little lizard people that have been cursed. They used to be people, now they're monsters. Murder machines.
Oh, Minish people are super cute. They're basically the Zelda version of Fraggles.
Okay.
Here, I'll drop one in the Discord.
Gotcha. Okay. That's right. I need to play Minish Cap. Again. I remember it being one of my favorites. But, yeah, it's been a long time since I played it.
I never did that one. I don't think I ever finished a single Legend of Zelda game that was in the Toon Link timeline.
I mean, a lot of them were for the, like, DS, Game Boy Color and
Yeah.
stuff, so...
Yeah.
Flutes! Hi! A beckoning tides. I like this. This is good. Oh, that was weird. I have this weird sculpture to make, and you may be wondering about all these packed up gum. Oh, all these packs of gums, yeah. One of my college sculptures is on Pokemon Go. Because they use the like the Google Maps stuff to make the Pokestops.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of my it's listed under like transportation sculptures as the Pokestop because it was at a bus station. And so one of my sculptures is a big metal hand. It's just is forever immortalized in Pokemon Go, which is great.
Cool.
Yeah. What did I do with that? I think I had to tear it down. I mean, I took it down because it was only there for a semester. But I don't actually know what I did with that hand. I definitely don't have it anymore. It was a big, like, cast iron, or not cast iron, but like rebar built hand. Need to work on my proportions. This is great. Improved already, and perspective. Yep, that's two things you can always work on.
Yep.
And then once you get really good at them, you can start playing with them and do some fun stuff with them that I still struggle with. Was it a fishing game?
Minish Cap?
Yeah, Atomic, what are you talking about? Was what a fishing game?
Pokemon Go? Oh, handmade out of cast iron pan would be cool to see.
Yeah, I don't know how you do. I mean, I'm not sure what you do with that. I need more druidy clothes.
Druids don't wear clothes.
Yeah, well, you may not, but that's not.
I am actually super bundled up today. It's freezing cold outside, and I feel it in my bones.
There's a college in my town near me that has rotated art pieces like your hand, and I was always blown away with their creativity. Yeah, I really like those kind of things. Like, those are great for colleges to let people kind of get their stuff posted.
Cloak made of moss. That's kind of a cool idea. Maybe we'll have some brambles for the shoulder pads.
I actually honestly don't think that druids would or should wear anything different, and I'm really kind of like increasingly confused about why leather armor would be okay but metal armor would not be, considering both are natural resources that have been refined.
Yeah,
or
I think part of it is the argument that, like, oh, all druids are vegetarians because they don't want to eat animals. It's like, animals eat animals. Like, that's...
Yeah.
No druid is going to go to a bear and be like, you can only eat berries. It's like, they're probably going to kill things and feed the bear.
Yeah, 100%. They're like...
Metal is from the earth. So, that in older editions, the argument for metal was that it was not in a natural state. Like, you were taking stone and like, the act of purifying the stone is the bad part of it, I believe.
The refining process?
Yeah. You don't find metal that way naturally. So...
Yeah. Well, you don't find leather naturally either, unless you're excavating bodies from bogs.
And so I would argue... Okay, that's fair. Do you consider tanning a refining of a process, though?
No, but but it is a destructive alteration of the material. And generally speaking,
But you're preserving it.
Yeah.
So is
iron, refined iron can still be metabolized by some microorganisms, and like, it's in small quantities, it's not toxic, and it rusts relatively easily, so it's still interacting with everything naturally, right? Like, just because you don't find refined iron naturally does not mean that it's not a natural material.
Sure.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing with
on the periodic table of elements.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with, like, the earthbenders and the metalbenders.
Yeah.
Like, I think the metalbenders kind of push that point of, like, metal is rock. It just is. So I do think it's a little silly. I do think maybe it's more to the effect of like, the difference between wearing hide and wearing, like, a chest, like, plate mail, right? It's like, you're taking something and using it in its state versus taking something and, like, completely destroying it and rebuilding it in your own way. It's arrogant, I guess, is the thing I'm getting to. Like,
That's potentially fair. One certainly, one of those materials certainly requires far more industrial processing.
which in my mind is the bad part of that the druids don't like. Like, it's
Right.
not so much that you are taking metal, it's that you're, one, destroying the land, digging up the metal, two, bringing it to a city, having all the processes, like, you're having to create civilization and destroy nature to get to that point. So I would say that maybe there's like ethical ways to get metal as a druid. Like, maybe if you find like a meteorite, make a meteorite sword, maybe that's different. But I do think a lot of it really is ethical, I guess, in its mind, in my mind, like,
Right.
versus
So
anything else.
Right. It's not about the material inherently, it's about what the material represents.
Yeah, and how you do it. So, like, they probably wouldn't wear leather armor that was, you know, if you hunted it and you are then using it and celebrating that animal, that's different than buying it from someone who...
Mass-produced chrome high.
Exactly.
Chrome tanned.
Exactly, yep. I think that's the line you have to draw. And I'm totally comfortable doing that for druids.
Yep.
So if you can find like
I
a
am as
meteorite,
well.
I'd totally let a druid use that if they thought it was fine. Metal is nature. Yeah.
Most elements on the periodic table are metal.
Everything, yeah. Everything in nature is nature. Like, there are very few things that are not nature. Whoa, 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 whoa! I can't eat that. It's got chemicals in it. Everything is chemicals, my friend. Yeah, but we make this. Like, nature makes it too. Like, we didn't just invent this chemical. This chemical was somewhere, and we found a way to reproduce it. Because it's basic shit.
Yep. I have had a somewhat frustrating conversation with about this with my sister, who is a soil scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the argument is basically, it was basically about overused agricultural products and how detrimental they were. And her argument was the chemicals all exist naturally, and my argument was, but not in that concentration.
Yeah.
And we are seeing increasing proof that at that concentration they're extremely damaging to ecosystems around farms, even if they're not specifically detrimental to those farms.
Yeah. Like a big example of that is like pesticides and stuff. Which she
yeah,
should
yeah.
know that. She should know that.
No, absolutely.
I was watching something the other day that they were talking about. Specifically, they were talking about oil ecology around lakes. I'm trying to remember what they were doing. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. In my opinion, druids would only be against industrialization, not exploitation. It's all about impact and scale. Only ethical medical for druids is gold from rivers. I mean, yeah, I think that's fair too. Yeah, John, I think the big thing for me is like druids wouldn't care as long as it's not exploiting stuff.
Yeah. As long as you're not destabilizing ecosystems in order to get your materials.
Honestly, I think like with druids, I think people keep drawing the line of like, oh yeah, they help farmers grow stuff. And it's like, would they though? Like, are they there because they're happy about plant growth? Or are they there because they want to help people sustain things? Or is like general agriculture also bad for them?
And I like...
I think these are things you can answer per druid, right? Like each druid should answer these questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, it's really easy to play druids as eco-terrorists.
Right, yeah. That's kind of like, that's the chaotic or the lawful stupid version of a druid is the eco-terrorist.
Yeah, absolutely. At the same time, though, I've seen more like better eco-terrorist druids than I have lawful stupid paladins in games I've played. But,
I gotta be honest, playing the lawful stupid paladin is really fun.
yeah, well, so is playing the eco-terrorist.
Right,
druid.
that's what I'm saying. Well, like, I think it might be a little harder because at the end of the day, like,
the eco-terrorist druid can still murder people.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's a little more chaotic than the stupid paladin. Because like, Final Fantasy VII is about eco-terrorists. So
Yes.
it's one of those things.
Sorry, Cloud. It's true. I've forgotten already. Was there a class that went with this?
I don't think there was. It was a gray alien. Nice gray alien. Gray goblin.
Gray Goblo.
Tonberry. Tonberry Minish Cap. So no.
So it needs a lantern and a knife.
Yep. I'd go rogue. Before I decided to study art, I was going to be an ecologist. This conversation is great. I also, I was a biological systems engineer student for a year, which was very boring. I did not enjoy it. But no, so my degree is borderline biology. I did a lot of biological studies before I started doing. I went art, biology, engineering, back to art, and then just all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I've been all over the place.
I only did art, but my best grade in high school was not from any of my art classes. It was from my biology classes.
Same. Like I was supposed to be in honors math classes, and I was like, no, that's dumb. Like I almost failed all my art classes in high school. But I think that's more because I was a little shit. So.
I didn't get that far. I did have a teacher who, my junior year in high school, was like, I wasn't really taking my art seriously, and I was like getting like C's in my art classes, and then like I had one art teacher who looked through my sketchbook and designed a assignment specifically for me that I actually enjoyed doing, and then when he saw it done, he asked me why I wasn't in the AP class, and I was like, I don't know. None of the teachers like me because I was
school is
didn't
stupid.
understand what was happening. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty
back,
much.
by the way.
Anyway,
Welcome
hey,
back.
welcome back. No, but I loved biology. I was I maybe should have gone into marine biology or microbiology.
You still can.
I
Buy a
still
microscope. That's what we should do. We should do a
Fully intend
a stream where we try to buy you a nice microscope and then make a YouTube channel out of it.
to.
I think
And
I'm
I will
Identify
say,
mycorrhizal fungi today.
the reason why druids have staves and sickles is purely because of cultic druids. It's just the aesthetic of a druid. It's like they would have like copper sickles or
interesting.
flint sickles to harvest mistletoe
Okay.
and other. So that's why, and basically scimitar is just because that's what Gygax gave them.
That's why they carry staffs and sickles and spell control the weather and improve the harvest. Nice. Okay. Looking at the Forgotten Realm gods Shanti and Yondala, Sylvanas focuses on plants and animals, but the others on humanoids. Oh, okay. There you go. I had teachers who accused me of tracing all my pieces, so I stopped trying. Interesting.
Oof.
Interesting. That's no good. Yeah, lots of people struggle with their high school art teachers. This is
Yeah.
the truth. Everybody has a different story, so it's hard to be like, oh yeah, it's this. It's because it's not. It's always different. But
We didn't
had-
have
yeah.
art.
I had a couple of really bad high school art teachers, and I had some of the best high school art teachers that I think exist on the planet.
Well, aren't you special? Sorry.
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to change the
I,
subject because I hate talking about high school
Yep.
because it was traumatic and not happy for me. So
How about
Sorry.
let's go back on our topic of gold and druids with just picking up gold out of the rivers.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because you can do that with iron filings too.
Yeah.
Like iron sand you can get from rivers. Takes a while, but you can do it.
I'm not opposed to druids having metal. I just like the aesthetic of like a druid having like obsidian spears and stuff like that.
Sure.
And,
See, that was the other thing I was going to bring up.
or
Is
flint.
like obsidian is like refined stone.
Yeah.
So like
that nature does.
that nature
Just-
does, yeah. So like it's definitely not the refinement process itself. It's got to be something with how,
Well,
with the
How,
process of doing it, right?
Yeah, it's about capitalism.
I think it's about capitalism. Yeah.
Druidism is anti-capitalist.
Did you
Because
guys
if
go ahead?
I was just gonna say, well, if you think like the process of refining iron from like raw iron into like iron that you can actually use for making weapons or tools, it requires a lot of fuel to get the temperatures
Yeah.
high enough to refine it. So like you are causing more destruction just to get a little bit of product out of it. So
Yeah.
I think that is possibly a reason. I also know that they've mentioned sometimes that in some editions that the reason is the metal interferes with this, like, basically the fey natural spirits that kind of give druids their powers.
That's fun. I was gonna say like the iron filings, like that would piss off any fey creature that you have.
Yep.
Oh, stop it! Stop it! Teachers can make or break a student's ambition. Yeah, yeah, they can.
Yep.
I agree. How would a druid city work based on the concept then? I know that they live in groves, but how would they support the several druids in your opinion? Yeah, see that's kind of the other weird part of it is
Central Park.
Central Park, yeah. No, I do think druids, one, like having a whole city of druids doesn't make sense to me. Like I really do think druids need to be,
They need to be small, insular communities.
well, not even just communities, but like if you have a druid in a city, that's probably all you need. Like why would there be two druids there? Like this is my glade, this is my grove, I'm taking care of this. So unless they're like friends or something, like I assume that the other druid would go somewhere else to help that place, right? So I do like the idea that like people can focus on druidic practices. So like maybe all of the farmers know a little bit of druid magic, but you probably only have one like high level druid in an area. So yeah.
Also,
I'm gonna draw the next one. I'm done with this one. Woo-hoo. Roll one dice.
because I know in the past, like editions, like for you to become like to even take like the 20th level thing where you become an archdruid, the previous archdruid has to be dead.
Yeah.
You're literally like taking over the position of an archdruid, like, and there can only be like one for a single circle.
Yep. I like that too. A water genasi swarmkeeper ranger with swarm of magical jellyfish.
It's mine.
Alright. What color? 1. Okay. I can't remember what my color variation was here. Let's end the poll. Typically, like rangers, druids only gather for ceremonial and politics. I like that. That's kind of where I was getting at with it.
They all be
Red.
randomized.
It was red again.
I feel like I think it kind of depends on the circle of druids. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a circle of stars druids would probably have a more fixed location, like on top of a mountain or a stone
Yeah.
circle.
Well, yeah, I love the idea of a Circle of Stars druid community. I think that makes sense, actually, have a large community and have a Circle of Stones. Have a Stonehenge.
But like, say a circle of moon, I feel like there are a lot more like, we meet only once a month on the full moon or
Yeah.
on special high holidays, and that's it.
I think the other part about that is like when you talk about a druid community, I do see it as being very spread out. Like you probably don't have a tavern and a shop, and like I think druids should be very self-sufficient regardless of how big their community is. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
what race was this? Water genasi.
Water genasi.
Okay.
Or Undine, however,
Yeah.
whichever version you want to use. I'm not picky on that aspect of it. Yes, old druids were Highlander druids, because there could only be one.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was the time when you had to be start out as a cleric and then prestige into druid.
Yeah.
Because it was a cleric subclass thing.
But once again, I do think, like, the Keyleth model, which was really based more around Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Like, you could definitely have, like, a big druid circle that's a whole bunch of druids. But I really think you have to, and this is true for any class, like, player levels are not the same. So like having a bunch of people that like live in a druid grove that maybe they all can use a cantrip is way different than having a bunch of level 5 druids living together, right?
Yeah.
So
100%. And I think the introduction of Aurum in this latest season is it's a good example of how that, because Aurum, like, basically he has a few druid cantrips as his background, and I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then other than that, like, he started speccing into fighter.
Yep, and I think that's much more realistic. Same thing with, like, if you want, like, from a design standpoint, it would be cool to have, a druid community of people that can all shape change. So, like, you give everybody in that community the shape change ability, but that's it. Like, they're all still level 1. It's just something that's unique to that place. And when they transform, they turn into crappy animals. Like, they turn into CR 1/2 rats, right? Like,
they have the level 1 ability for that.
And
I will say, you are basically describing how the Ashari are, though.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
Because
like,
there's only
that,
there are like a group of maybe 5 druids in each little area that are like
right. But that's the Avatar models. What I'm talking about is, like, there's the air temple, right? Like, it has air benders there, but there's also normal people that live there. Like, it's, the monks are the people that kind of make those locations special, but it's just like they're separate. That's really what I'm talking about. Is like there's just little covens of it, but it's still just like small insular groups. So I like that. I like
it's not
that
like you were like saying that everyone like in the Ashari are all druids. I was like, I don't remember anyone ever saying that. So I just want.
Okay, well, so like when they go to...
That's how I was interpreting what you were saying. That's
Sure.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, with the Ashari specifically, if I remember right, which I could be wrong, is that like they were defending the planar gates, right?
Yeah.
And so there was a whole bunch of fire druids there to do that purpose. Like, so they had come together as a group. And they were all fire druids, and then they were all water druids in the other place. That's kind of
remember.
like, it's a collection of druids.
I remember as Keyleth kind of first explained the Ashari, that's kind of what the way they were described as having a lot of druids.
More than you would normally find in
Yes, being a specifically druid-focused society.
But I could definitely see that what you're saying is like there being normal people that live there that are not druids as well. So that's fine.
Because I feel like if you have like an area where there's like an elemental portal and you don't want wizards mucking with it, you probably want like a decent sized group of druids to keep it contained.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
You definitely need enough druids to keep the Solstice Academy or whatever. Keep their grubby fingers out of it.
Yep. Keep Caleb away from the elemental portals.
Yeah. Sorry, Caleb. You're not going to the City of Brass today.
Green Liquid, welcome in. The Circle of Stars probably operate remote observatories. That'd be pretty cool. I like that too. Druid groves with special fruits with wild-shaped powers, but you never know how long or powerful it will be. It's like mini gum fruits. Ooh, big text box. What did I miss here? This helped a lot. I'm creating a large druid grove in my campaign where there are lots of protecting nature and lots of dense pools of magic
It's hidden from the rest of the world. I imagine now that it would be 1 or 2 true druids, but the rest of the people would be nature-y as well as less powerful. Yeah, and another way you can get around doing that is just like, yeah, like what Druid was saying with Orem, like give them backgrounds that will give them the druid kind of archetype thing. I think that's really smart.
Yeah.
I think that's really smart. But yeah, there should still only be a handful of people that are higher level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My general rule for
Why are 2 people in front of the screen? Why are there 2 people in front of the screen? I don't. What do you mean by that? Is my chat being weird?
I don't know.
Or are you wondering why
That's
we're both
interesting.
drawing? Druid and I are both drawing.
Yeah.
I'm drawing the
'Cause I'm
jellyfish.
cool.
Jellyfish swarm ranger. And Druid is drawing a goblin.
Little gray goblin. One of the rules that I usually set for myself, especially in a homebrew setting, is I want to set a hard cap for my NPCs. So in the vast majority of my towns, I set the cap for NPCs at 5. If I'm gonna do like interactions with military groups, they'll get, I think 7 is usually where I cap those, and that will include like heads of adventurers guilds, or town guards, or like all of those sorts of things. And then if we're talking about
You have the.
capital,
Sorry, go ahead.
if we're talking about like the capital city, then I add like 2 to 3 on top of the total cap. So like 10 becomes the cap for the highest ranking person there. But for the most part, like most of your NPCs should not have player levels.
I'm of the opposite of that. I like being in a world where the adventure party is not the strongest thing. I love having NPCs that are like way too powerful. But when you do that, you basically have to come up with reasons like why is the adventure party doing this and not these people.
Why are they necessary then?
And most of the time it's just because like the high level people are too busy to give a crap. Oh, I didn't see you actually editing the thing. Yeah. We're using Aggie. Magna Studios, I guess. One thing with big forehead makes a crystal. They're the forehead. That's just my opinion. Thanks for explaining that. I think it's Tonberry based. So do Tonberries have crystals on their forehead? I don't know.
I don't think so.
The cardboard
They're not
is
a
a background.
carbuncle.
Yeah, they're not a carbuncle. Fair enough. Okay, here we go. I'm going to drop the opacity down, make a new layer, and now we get to go. Now we get to getting. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, high level NPCs.
Yeah.
Something with that, especially like for shopkeeps. I like making my shopkeeps like very high level, but they're just they're too busy being a shopkeep to do anything about it.
Whereas I think I prefer to have the town guard be higher level, or have shopkeeps keep back the best magical items, or have your shopkeep definitely needs some sort of guarantee of safety against murder hobos.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say what you're proposing is like very reliant on not having a murder hobo party.
Yeah. But
Soon
like,
as-
I also remember remember when we started our Pathfinder 2 campaign, and I told everybody that basically you are magically bound to a promise to maintain the laws of the land, and there are specific legal consequences if you break those, and the tattoo knows, and that freaked you out a little bit.
I disagreed with that, but I also we went with it. So
Yeah.
that is your right and prerogative as the DM to thunder slap people with.
It wasn't really thunder slap. It's a small amount of pain, like a sunburn on your wrist, to let you know that you broke the rules, and everybody who you interact with can see that you broke the rules.
It's the Scarlet Letter.
It's the Scarlet Letter, yeah.
It's a scar. It is, exactly.
Tyson just cuts off an arm. There, I'm done.
I mean,
Tattoo just grows up farther up the wrist.
I like the Naruto way of doing it. Whereas if someone breaks the rules, somebody just like slashes their headband.
Oh,
And it's just like, you are expelled. But somebody has to do it. And then they just wear it. They're just like, yeah, here's who I am now. It's like, just get a new headband. What are you doing? I always thought it would be fun to have a sewer druid among the rat people. That could be fun. Yeah. Yeah, I like that idea.
Have you watched The Unsleeping City?
I haven't.
Dimension 20's Unsleeping City is amazing. They have that.
Maybe have a low-level shop and keep the guards around in the village at the highest level. Yeah, for the most part, I've been able to forego having murder hobos, just by playing with consequences. Like, if you want to ransack a building, great. Like,
Do it, yeah.
do it.
You gotta pay the consequences.
Yep.
And the tattoo thing, that was specifically what I wanted as the GM. As the tattoo was not supposed to be the punishment in and of itself. It's supposed to be a marker. It's supposed to be a thing to mark you for punishment, right? It was supposed to be me as the GM, so I could say, okay, well, you fucked up, and there are consequences. So you can talk with the guild lawyer now, or we're gonna have the town guards pursue you. And like,
I thought we just burn down the wizard school and just be done with them.
I mean, I would have gone along with that, I think.
there are more than a few people in the guild who are down with that, including at least one of the NPCs.
Is it a really high-leveled fighter?
No.
Dang.
The guild master is she works within the system.
Boo. Systems are meant to be broken and destroyed.
Fucking guild master. She's not Ron
Do
Swanson.
you know who I am?
Although, come to think of it, having Ron Swanson as the guild master would be pretty funny.
I have done some horrible things with this anatomy. I'm gonna do a quick start over.
Yeah.
I mean,
so have I, but I was asked to, so.
Fair.
I don't know, lean into the weird anatomy of a jellyfish.
Just gelatinous character.
Yeah. Jellyfish swarm. At least some of them do. It's fun. And they're magic.
Right. Not all wizards would stand by once you bring down your school. The thing that's really funny is that, like, Tyson basically tried to steal parts from a creature that was summoned, and knew full well that the materials of a creature, unless otherwise stated, belong to the person who commissioned the guild members to come and do the fight. So, but Tyson,
That was
like,
not stated.
that is
Until that happened.
That is part of the rules that I sent you that came along with the tattoo.
I didn't remember that either, so. I played with the consequences, and the murder hobo ghosted the party, and I no longer had a murder hobo. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, he killed people holding a funeral and got arrested. Good.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good.
There are such
So, you
things
know,
as
Tyson is
retired
not
adventurers.
a murder hobo.
Yeah, no, this was not a. He's just a klepto. Actually, I still
really
very
a
much,
klepto.
I still very much like Tyson and what happened. I just feel like the punishment. Not that the punishment didn't fit the crime, the punishment didn't fit didn't fit what was happening. Like that, I think it was just like a drop of communication, and things got really weird and confusing.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
if you went to the store with your friend and they like spilled ice cream on somebody and got arrested. You're just like, what just happened? Like what
what? Like, no one's really sure what's going on. And you're like,
Is that really what you thought happened? Because like all that really happened is his mark flared up and he was not able to take new quests.
it felt very dramatic. Like, it felt very, very much like Tyson was just kind of shut off. So, yeah.
That's lack of communication on my part. Then.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the part that was really distressing about it was it was confusing about what was actually happening and what the consequences were. Because it's like, this seems like not that big of a deal. This feels like we did a job, and worst case scenario, someone should have just yelled at our boss, and then our boss should have like been angry. But it felt very the town guards are involved. We're talking to a judge. There's a lawyer, and it's just like, what? Like, it was very over our heads in scope of what was going on. So,
Right.
And all it did was chop off a tentacle and walked out the door. Like, unaggressive, just chopped, leaves.
you can't do that. I think he's gone. but like, that's kind of what I expected to happen. But no, it was just like it was unilateral punishment, like affliction, like, and we didn't really get to play with it. So it was, yeah. I totally think everything that happened was fine. It's just the way that it happened was very confusing and kind of like
Yeah,
oh.
Well, I mean, I also wasn't expecting it to happen. So.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
My wholesome Gary was once a brave and strong general, but he had an epiphany about how life shouldn't be wasted, and now he serves the earth, his bees. Nice. There's a song about that. I can't remember what it's called, though. I'll have to think about that. It's a pretty good song about that. Yeah, sorry. I don't mean to sound like we're shitting on you, Jared. I think it was fun.
No, it's good. Yeah. I appreciate the feedback.
The universal authority of it is the part that was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Punishment happens and you are punished. It's like, oh shit. I did something like that with the Ashfont campaign. There were specific situations that I had written out that, like, if you did X thing, you melt, and it was just like, what? And like, that was what I was going for. I wanted people to just be kind of like freaked out about it. Like, what the hell just happened? I didn't want to explain it. It's just like, this happened, you're done.
Yeah.
And that was what I was going for. And so when that happened in the other campaign, I was just like, oh god.
And in that campaign, I think I specifically actually had not considered a lot of the potential consequences, and I was not prepared for somebody to try to steal materials from the Wizards College. So, yeah. No, I'm not blaming you, Corvus. I'm 100% not blaming you. But like, it, as out of left field as it felt for you guys, it also felt out of left field for me, and I reacted poorly, I think, is what I'm gathering. Because like I said, it wasn't supposed to feel like immediate drop the hammer. It was supposed to just be, oh, you did something you were not supposed to. Now, like, at some later point, we're gonna have to deal with the consequences, and basically, you don't get to that character doesn't get to play for a week or two because they gotta be put in timeout and think about what they did wrong.
I'm gonna start my own guild with blackjack and hookers.
Breaking imperial law is punishable by death, immediate death. Yeah, no roll, no saves, no nothing. He's wearing a skull with his robes when he hides. He wears a skull with his robes when he hides. So it is kind of like a Tonberry, but you know, it keeps the skulls that it takes from other people. I just told my players that I'm not interested in running a game not about heroes. They can be evil and they don't have to like each other, but you share goals as a party. Ballad of the Wholesome Gary. Yeah, and I think that's fair. I've several times, like, when I find people that are kind of not fitting with the party aesthetic, I've asked them, like, hey, do you want to play a different character, or do we need to start a different campaign for that character? And I've done both. So, like, it's all about
It's all about finding the right balance for your party, which is hard with what the games we were playing because we were playing session-based games. So it's a whole bunch of one-shots with a whole ton of characters, and it's kind of hard to follow that sometimes. Sometimes things just don't work out, and that's fine. I'm trying to make like big, weird fish eyes, and it's not going quite right. That being said, I don't like that university. I think we should burn it to the ground. Unrelated. Unrelated to that. I know of a few characters that would not be happy about that.
Well, we shall see what happens, because mages, guilds, and universities are excellent places for abuses of power.
You know how I hate wizards. I try to take the,
Your
like,
spouse is a wizard.
you know, opposites. There's... I almost always try to take, like, the superstitious or witch hunting feats. It's just like, I like my characters having a mistrust of magic.
I mean, to be fair, those feats are a lot of fun to play with.
Yeah.
They inform a lot of character play. This is Brian just gave us the middle finger emote.
I'm telling you, you gotta be gotta be skeptical. Wait, and like most of the wizards you make are evil. So like, isn't that perfectly on par for a cleric, of which my denomination is normal?
I do think it's funny though, because your mask is a mask of
Nethys.
You're saying you're a cleric of Nethys, the god of magic.
The god of magic. Knowledge and destruction. Yeah. No, I'm a walking contradiction. It's great.
Which also makes the mask appropriate.
Clerics are wannabe warlocks. Yeah, that's fair. Clerics are warlocks that have to what's the word I'm looking for? I was gonna say work for their power, but like, I don't know if...
But they have to justify their spending to their sugar daddy.
Yeah. They have to keep their receipts.
Yeah.
Kiss ass suck ups. Yeah, there you go.
You know what, Bri? You're either bitter or biased or both.
Go first. Means you wouldn't like Kirky's a necromancer. Necromancers are okay. You can be a cleric necromancer. Nethys is true neutral. Nethys is true neutral, which I like. I really do like.
I'm actually not sure Nethys is really true neutral. I think they're just both chaotic, evil, and lawful good.
Well, so maybe, yeah. I guess that's fair. That's a fair way to look at it. But Nethys is basically just the epitome of knowledge. Like, too much knowledge and just breaks your brain. So,
isn't the lore for Nethys specifically that he was a wizard and studied too hard and saw, I guess, or figured out, understood everything, was driven insane, and then could not be the god of magic?
I believe Nethys was... He did the Sunstone thing. So, and when he won the Sunstone Challenge, he wished for, essentially, knowledge of all magic, and that drove him crazy. And so he's constantly on that, like, on the edge of being too omnipotent, basically. It's just like, it's weird. Is a paladin just a less edgy warlock with heavy armor? Yes. I think the way it works is clerics are groupies that worship something, and then paladins and warlocks are
Oh god, what is it? What is it? Warlocks have a sugar daddy. And paladins... There's a meme. There's a meme that I can't think. I can't think of it. Villains and minions and their tactics. That's a cool book. I want to get a hold of that book.
Cleric is forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Sugar daddy is, warlock is punish me, daddy, because I've been a bad girl.
Okay.
Isn't that the meme you talk about?
Maybe. Warlock. Da, 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 da. The only difference between a paladin and a warlock is one's got an employer and the other one's got a sugar daddy. That's how it works. The question is which is which? I don't care. Uh-oh. I think we lost Chorus again.
Green liquid, I choose to believe that the yes and Jesus is in response to my comment.
No, for the most part, I am just teasing Brian. Jump rope.
Yeah.
I do like my characters being very superstitious, though, and just being very untrustful of magic. It's super fun. Partially because, like, any world where magic does exist, I mean, like, if magic is real, and we want to say that on the record, then I want as much magical protection in my life as I can get. I don't trust people to have, like, normal functionalities. Like, I don't like people being near my house, let alone having... let alone having, like, magical powers. It freaks me out.
Yeah. I mean, to my mind, it's... Like, a cantrip is like having a gun.
Yeah, cantrip is like having a gun.
And I don't really like guns. I probably like...
You are short and jealous? Okay. Now I just feel personally attacked.
Wow, Brian. You are evil, aren't you? No, but yeah, because a cantrip is just a gun. I would agree. You need magic protection if everybody has magic. Either that, or you need everybody who has magic to
be registered. The Bureau of Magic and...
I was not going to say be registered because that immediately becomes political. I was going to say have the training to be able to the training and the, I guess, an established moral code that addresses the responsibility.
What does ATF stand for? It's not association. What's the A stand for?
I'm not sure. I don't actually know. And thanks, Corvus. I'm glad you like these. I basically ripped this off of the Minish people because that was one of the references I was given.
It does look really good. You're still gonna get cursed. I mean, probably. I would not be surprised if I've been cursed a few times. And I need all of the decursing I can get.
Which is kind of the point of the conversation. I love building characters that have curses and have to deal with them, actually. Anyway, sorry, Bri. As much as I know you like lycanthropy as a curse, I'm kind of like over that one specifically. Same with vampirism. It's a little too mainstream for me.
You got to get the good ones like Mummy Rod or something.
Mummy Rod is a good one. I built a cleric, and this is the cleric that you guys are going to have to deal with in our 5e game tomorrow.
Wait, so are we talking about bespoke curses now? Is that where you're going?
Not necessarily, but
Okay.
like just kind of more interesting, more eldritch or more fake curses. I like the curse from the ballet Giselle, where an offending man is cursed by the vengeful spirit of a woman to run until he dies.
Okay.
I like from Majora's Mask, and this is the curse that I pulled for my cleric, for my forgotten cleric. The curse on the soldier who has the stone mask, which is the mask that makes you basically invisible.
Oh, interesting.
Guys, yeah. So that guy is basically cursed to be forgotten, to be unseen. He was so unremarkable that it basically became a curse, and everybody forgot to look at him.
Interesting. Yeah, see, that's fun. I think that's a good way to look at curses. It's only a curse if you want it, or if you don't want it. Can you be blessed with these things? Probably. But I think that's the whole monkey paw thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
how is a boon or a blessing can also be a curse if it's looked at the wrong way. I think that's kind of the whole shebang.
Drug gun? What did I miss? Oh, alcohol, tobacco, and fire. Oh, it's the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Is that?
That's why, because I was like, there's no B. There's no B. What's happening? So yeah, it would be the Bureau of cantrips, magic, and what would you call warlock patronage? Contracts? Maybe contracts, magic,
Maybe
and
contracts. Yeah.
and divine entities or something. I don't know what you would put it as. That could be a fun campaign, actually. Like going the X-Men route of like somebody is trying to make every magic user register their powers, and so you have to start like a coalition of Captain America running around being like, no superhero registration act. Packs. Yeah, we could do that. So we could do like cantrips, magic, and packs. Something to that effect. Start peeling off aluminum foil that regrows every night. Curses foil. So like you want to be protected from alien abductions, and so you just have a cursed metal tinfoil hat that you can never get rid of. I wish I was never hungry again. And then you have to eat like 1,000 donuts every night.
Oh.
More. Homer Simpson. More. We're out of donuts. What do we do? He ate all of them. You vomit out your stomach. Ugh. I think there's a superhero that does that.
There's
Like his
a
intestines
billion sea
are.
cucumbers that do that.
Yeah, his intestine is alive, and that's the only way he can eat is by vomiting out his intestines, and then they're sentient and they talk to him and stuff. Department of Pact Spells and Bloodlines. I like that. That's really good. That's actually really good, John. I'm gonna write that
That
down.
is very good.
Department. I like Department too. That's a whole like we should put that into a campaign of like spell wizard hunters. Department of Packs. Spells and bloodlines.
The wizard auditors.
Mm-hmm.
You become the FBI, but for mages.
The mighty sea cucumber here. I heard you, Pixel. Where'd you go? All right. Pixel walked up to me, meowed, and then just walked away. I don't know. I don't know
I
what
think
that's about.
this is Kirk.
You think you're done? That looks really good. I like it. I got super distracted again. We're drawing very slow today. I'm sorry. But look at them jellyfish. Them some jellyfish.
I love the shapes you've got going. These the squiggles for these tentacles are amazing.
I love jellyfish. Jellyfish are amazing. I take pictures of them all the time when I go to aquariums. The last time I went was right after my eye surgery. And so, like, I got really dizzy and disoriented walking through the jellyfish aquarium.
Yeah.
So hopefully next time I go, I can actually take some good pictures.
Yeah.
But hold on, you have the department work. Any supervisor would have to have some protection magic. Yeah, to have that department work. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would. I think that would be really funny if you just had a whole bunch of like super skeptical, people with like anti-magic shields, or there's a bunch of wards you can get in D&D and Pathfinder that just like give you the shield spell the first time you're hit every day. I love that thing. It's great. You could build a really cool like thaumaturge of that, or you could just have a whole bunch of investigators or inquisitors. It would essentially be just like witch hunters, though. Like, so it's not like a wholly unique idea, but it's funny to have the whole idea of it being a bureau.
Yeah.
It's like an organized group of people trying to register and keep magic under their thumb. Like, I could imagine so many people just being like, yeah, no, I don't like that.
You basically become Harry Potter aurors.
Yeah, you become aurors. That's a good idea. Wizards that are registered and go after other wizards. The employee ID card has a magic glyph on it. That's really good. I like that. IRS for wizards. Inspectors of registered spellcasting.
That's
pretty good. That's pretty good.
How are you feeling? How many drawings you got?
It's 2:20. I think I can do another one. So I'll probably do at least one more, if not two more.
I'll roll for one more then.
Sure. Do they have a badge? I would say yeah. I'd give them a badge. Renegade wizard hunters. I guess that is what the auras are, aren't they, from Harry Potter?
Pretty much.
But like, you kind of need that if your world is full of
Yeah. Absolutely.
deranged magic users, which I think that kind of defines Dungeons and Dragons.
I would agree.
Supernatural too, yeah. I love Supernatural, like the concept for it. Sorry, what number?
3.
Gem-eyed Boro, an ogre gangster fighter with gems for eyes. The gems shift color often give them a... I don't know what any of these words are. So whatever a Boro is, I don't know what a Boro is. B-O-R-O.
I think that's supposed to be his name.
Oh, Gem-eyed Boro?
Because they said an ogre with gems for eyes, right?
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Gem-eyed Boro is his name.
Maybe? I don't know.
An ogre gangster? That sounds like a gangster name. So,
I'm extrapolating.
yeah.
Yeah.
Gangster fighter with gems for eyes. Ogre gangster
Ogre
fighter.
gangster. Now, do I want to do 1920s Rat Pack gangster, or do I want to do 90s New York gangster? Do I want to do Italian mafia?
I am going to be cooking so much stuff this weekend. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I got to make sugar cookies. I got to make candied pretzels. I might try to make divinity, but I don't know if I'm going to try that. It might be too wet here. It's kind of a desert thing.
Yeah. Candy's got to be difficult in the Pacific Northwest.
Especially at sea level.
Yeah.
Actually, it might be easier at sea level. I'll have to check that. The whole thing about Divinity is that like it's poofy. It's a poofy, marshmallowy candy.
Yeah.
Irish Mobster. Irish Mobster is good.
Irish Mobster is good. Ajax, you're welcome for drawing Crook. That was a surprisingly fun thing for me to draw. But kind of like goblins kind of always are, right?
Yeah. Goblins make good art. Oh, I forgot. Dang it. I really wanted to do the Mary Laurie Lord thing. I want to get a short of that out today, so that's going to be something I'm going to have to do. I think I have time, though. I'm not super hurting for time today. We are still doing our end of the year winter sale. If you guys want commissions, they're all pretty much about half off, give or take, depending. I'm trying to get people to have me draw more busts and character portraits. So those are available. You can check that out on the Discord if you like. Bloop, bloop. Over Thanksgiving break, I watched the Sphere movie, The Sphere.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this isn't how I remember it happening. And so I went back and I just finished reading the book like 2 nights ago or so. And yeah, the book is way different. I mean, it's not way different. The same kind of basic thing happens, but there's enough changing that's like, man, the book is way better. The movie didn't make any goddamn sense.
Agreed.
Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up. But jellyfish, that's why, because there's tons of jellyfish in that book. I like making meringue cookies. Meringue cookies are good. Toss meringue cookies, strawberries, and whipped cream together. That sounds pretty good. Eichmann, hello, hello. Welcome in. How are you doing today? Give you a quick shout out here. How are things going? Have you finished your 3D prints, or you still have some more work to do? I think I'm done here. I wanted to get like a whole bunch of hair, but I think the hair is just gonna clutter up the picture. Like it's not gonna add anything. There you are. What's up? You a sad cat? Please, food more. Need more. You gotta wait. Oh, you gotta wait 30 minutes. You're actually pretty close. Should I go feed you now? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go feed this cat. Hang tight, everybody. Prints are done, and magnetizing is ongoing. Nice. Nice. I recently discovered a drink called Choco Meal? I assume it's just chocolate-flavored drink. I'll be right back. Oh, I have to make Tom and Jerry batter. That was the other thing I forgot. I'm excited for Tom and Jerry batter. Be right back. Sugar cookies. If I have a sugar recipe you want, they're a family tradition that everyone has to eat. It's kind of a bloodline curse punishment. I mean, yeah, if you want me to try it, I'll try it out. Is it gonna blood curse me though? Like, if I give them to people, are they gonna be cursed to also eat them forever? Come on, cats. Can you wake up, Skip Cat? Oh, you're so sleepy. Oh my goodness. Skip Cat's a spoiled boy. He gets fed on the bed. There you go. Okay. I'll eat this.
Okay. Sorry, I stuffed some rice in my face. There's something good about cold rice. I just like it. Let's see what we're doing here. Where'd my dice go? Okay. A 6. A Dragonborn Berserker. A white Dragonborn. We can do that. What color are we doing here? Blue? More just accursed of bad taste. Oh no. Divinity is a southern tree, so you should be fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it was like growing up in Boise. It's pretty high elevation. Like not super high, but it's high enough that it kind of screws up a lot of baking. But
Agne's taking a shit on me.
that's no good. If you guys have not checked out Eichmann's channel, Eichmann 5000, go check it out. It's good stuff. It is good stuff. Any fun new art projects you're working on now, besides the prints? I should probably just check out your channel. I haven't seen it in a little while. We're also hanging out on YouTube today. I was really excited that Twitch was about to let people draw nudity. I was going to draw so many sexy elves. But doesn't look like they followed through with it. We'll see how it goes next week.
Not too many people have used it right off the bat, which is not surprising to me.
Yeah.
I think that if they had the leisure to give it some time, then probably most of the channels that actually want to handle that sort of stuff would probably develop a way to do so respectfully.
Who was it? Moist Critical? I think he said it best. Like, there's a large community of people that just, the meta for using Twitch is seeing how far you can push things and how close to the line you can tread.
Yeah.
And so with Twitch being like, hey, we're just gonna loosen these, people like already had things that are borderline there that they could just push.
Yeah.
And so I think you're right. I think it was just kind of they needed to roll things out in a way that was very well defined, and that's not what they did.
Yeah, 100%.
So.
And I don't think that like, it has been my experience as a nudist with regards to this subject specifically, that is not unique to Twitch or even to communities that are just like, let's see how far we can push the boundaries on anything that they say. When we're dealing with like, not even just modesty, but anything that has to do with general propriety of the social system, if you say that this is no longer a rule, then people kind of freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
So you really do have to define the rule and try to hold up examples of appropriate usage. Like you absolutely need examples of how to handle this appropriately. So
Gotcha.
They really should have been like, so this is specifically for artists, and so like if you are not doing art or education, then don't bother.
Right. I will talk to you about this after the stream because there's a lot of shenanigans. Some of them are pretty funny and clever, but yeah, it really was. Yesterday was like the Wild West on Twitch.
Yeah, yeah. And I expect there to be everything across the spectrum, but there's 1,000% that there's the people who ruin it for everybody, and they're probably the people who ruined this for me too.
Yep. My coloring book just came out. That's awesome, Mike. That's awesome. Do you have a link for that? If you want to share a link to that somewhere. I've been trying to get a coloring book out, and I got to the point where I was trying to upload it to Amazon, and it just kept failing, and I lost steam. So I'm gonna have to figure that out eventually. I'm drawing a kobold. This is not a white dragonborn. White dragons are so weird. I'm gonna start over.
Man, the newsy cap, the lantern jaw, the too small, too tight collar and suspenders, and immediately this character is just, hey boss.
Hey boss. This is Rudy Giuliani. Hey boss.
You need me to I don't know, mess this guy up? Should we have a conversation with his family? Yeah. Thug Rudy Giuliani is absolutely who I think this is.
Settle my balls. Seth Meyers is great. He's just stupid. I love it. You can get it digitally on Gumroad, or in about a week you can get it physical editions from Ko-Fi. Nice. I need to get back on my coffee, the Ko-Fi, whatever you want to call it. Because apparently you can sell digital stuff there, which I didn't realize. And that might be way easier for people to get digital tokens and stuff that I've made. So that will be maybe that's my New Year's resolution, to get that set up before the end of the year. Do another druid drawing. Here we go.
Embrace the paint.
Embrace the paint. White dragons from Pathfinder. Thank you. I really like the fins they have. I think that's pretty cool. I think I'll try to get some of that in there. Oh no, I got the hiccups. My resolution is to win the lottery and finish the book. Nice. That's a good one. I would bless or curse you, depending on how you want that to go. I'm afraid that every time I try to curse people, it just comes off as a blessing, because I'm bad about that.
Well, you are a cleric, so.
I mean, you have so much money that it's just the only thing you can do with your time is write books. I curse you with never-ending tax annoyances and paperwork to deal with all of your money.
Here, let me show you how it's done.
Oh, here we
I
go.
curse you to always have to deal with the full brunt of the consequences of your actions. I got the thing at that time.
I never thought about, like, yeah. Buying a lottery ticket has consequences. Sometimes it's lots of tax paperwork. Hiring a new lawyer. I want to do 13 books in different genres. That would be really cool. I would read them. That's the lawyers and the accountants problem.
There's no curse.
I think that was a Rick and Morty episode.
That does not surprise me.
The devil's just giving away like cursed items, and then Rick is uncursing them for money. So people are just getting things for free and then going to Rick and like paying. Ah, these shoes make it so you dance until you die. You can never stop dancing.
Have you seen those new Fallout TV trailer? I've seen that it exists. I haven't watched it yet. I was thinking about playing 76 with my friends because the new expansion just came out, but I haven't played the original one yet, so that's kind of on my radar. And I was like, oh, there's a TV show? That's weird. Apparently, it's not going to be too close to the game.
Yeah.
Might be a good thing.
I saw the trailer and thought it was going to be a movie at first, and I was like, I don't think this is going to work out great. I'm still not 100% sure it's going to work out great as a TV series.
I think the universe is solid enough to make something with. But yeah, it's going to be...
That's going to require movie execs that actually respect the lore enough to let it continue to exist unmolested.
Cough cough Halo. Just putting that out there. I need to watch that. I love Halo. The universe. But from what I'm told, it's not a good... It's a generic sci-fi show with a Halo skin on it. So we'll see what they do with Fallout. My question is, are they going to have ghouls, or like how far are they going to go into it, or is it just going to be like a random post-apocalyptic thing?
The lore of Fallout is pretty loose. It's got a very open history. Yeah.
Like, the first game was great, because it's just like, hey, you have to leave the shelter. Go find us some water things, or we're dead. It's like, okay, great. And then chaos ensues.
You watch the trailer?
All right. I'll check that out after the stream.
It looked to me like they were at least sorry. It looked to me like they were at least taking fan service sort of stuff into consideration. I think I saw dog meat, but I'm not 100% sure.
Brotherhood of Steel.
Yeah. Like I'm saying, dog meat. Boy and his dog. Go check it out.
Actually, I don't know if I should tell people to check that movie out. I don't remember it being that great, and I remember it being a little weird. And that was back in like the freaking early 2000s when I watched it. I was like, this is strange. Read a synopsis. How's that? Was this supposed to be a warlock? What was this supposed to be? Berserker. Ooh, my bad. Get rid of this. Get rid of this armor.
Tunnel snakes rule.
Very clear that they're using the modern Fallout aesthetics from 4 and 7. Okay. Or 76. I prefer the animated shorts of Halo than the show. Yeah, same. Was not impressed with the live action. Yeah, like I was saying, the weird thing about the live action is that it basically wasn't written to be a Halo show. It was just
the people that wrote the Halo show hadn't played any of the games or read any of the books. And it's just like, excuse me? What now? That seems like the bare minimum.
Yeah. I would agree with that statement.
Alright, I'm gonna make this smaller.
Gemstone Eyes is hard, y'all.
Yeah.
Who did this to me?
Facets. Facets, more facets. You played yourself. You rolled the dice, now you gotta deal with the consequences of your actions.
Well, I considered doing a full body pose so that I wouldn't have to do the gemstone eyes, and then I was like, no, the gemstone eyes is the only detail that I was given. I'd better do a bust so that I can actually do that justice.
That's a good call.
Here I am.
The music sounded like sad merchant music from Elden Ring. I could see that. Modern show writers say anything. Modern show writers? Yeah. Say knowing anything about source material interferes with their creativity. Yeah, that's poop. Beanbender, welcome in.
I don't think all writers think that way. I think that we actually have a decent number of writers. I'm currently more frustrated with directors and higher up executives than I am with writers. But that might just be my bias having changed from the recent strikes.
I have a few friends that write, or like script writers, and they always have just shittiest stories to tell me about, like how dealing with the companies beyond beyond what they're writing. But they're trying to like get their movies made. It's less about like taking old IPs. Like they always are. They're trying to get something that they like published. And that's always a struggle. So like, yeah, but what if we did this? And they're like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do. Unfortunately, Beanbender, that breaks the rules of the drawing, so no. I will not be drawing Wyoming. Would if I could, but not in my wheelhouse. It's fan art. We'll be doing no Wyoming fan art today.
Does Wyoming even exist?
That's a good question. Is Wyoming a real place? I don't know. I've never been there. Actually, I think I have, but...
The Earth is actually flat, so nothing in America really exists. So Wyoming's fake.
Mm-hmm. This music is like really dramatic. I don't know what's happening here. It often seems recent movies and shows use IPs for name recognition and then put it as they go. Lord of the Rings? Yeah, I saw a movie poster once. I actually really liked the new Lord of the Rings stuff. And to be fair, like, the Silmarillion is... It's a little...
Esoteric?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So, the fact that they kind of are diverting from it, I'm okay with. I don't care. But, yeah, I like what they did with that. We'll see how it goes. But...
The Silmarillion was not published.
Well, it's not a book.
Yeah, like it's a collection of like Tolkien's notes.
It's a bunch of short stories, but they're written academically.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's not a fluid narrative through any of them. It's just like this person did this and then this happened and then as that went. But like the big chunk of it is
basically the deep lore of Tolkien's universe.
And I think like it would work really well as like someone sitting down and telling you a story.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be written. It's just like this is information. This is not a narrative. It is here is the information. I read the Silmarillion in junior high school. The series was Lord of the Rings in name only. Exactly. Yeah, like like it has some of the same characters vaguely. Like you kind of like you meet some of them and it explains like why the elves are the way they are and like where they came from and the dwarves and the magic in that universe and like how it works, which is great. But it's not something that you would want to tell a story about. Like it's just not. And then some of it is even like there was a great battle and these 5 people died and it's like good information. Not a good story. So it's worthwhile reading if you really like the Tolkien lore, but it's hard. It's hard to read. So I like that they're exploring different parts of the Tolkien universe, and I'm glad that we get to see that. Like I just am. So I don't have a problem with it, but it's definitely different. It's definitely different from the book.
There's not necessarily anything wrong with that.
Yeah, it's just different.
It's always frustrating for purists, right?
Yeah.
Always is.
No.
Yeah. Like a lot of times, the pure copycat interpretation of the book is just not viable in film media.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I choose to oil paint this one instead of my usual light washes?
The copy I read was the first edition hardcover. It went through from creation of the world right until the Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
But it was not published during Tolkien's lifetime.
No, it was not.
It was compiled by his son, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah, from a collection of Tolkien's notes and writings, and the kid's own, or his son's own memories of the stories as they were told to him as bedtime stories, I think.
It's hard to read. It feels like you're reading a textbook.
Yep. Or the Bible.
Yeah, or the Bible. The Bible is also hard to read.
It's actually specifically why I was never able to read too much of the Silmarillion. Like, I was very interested in it, but
But you had to read the Bible. You just didn't have time.
Yeah, when I was. Yeah, look, scripture is work,
Yeah.
and it reads like scripture. The Silmarillion reads like scripture, and I've read enough scriptures in my life.
This handle makes no sense. I don't know what I'm doing here. Hold on.
Ooh, I like the skeletalness of the muzzle you've got going, especially around the teeth.
Thank you. After that, was released Unfinished Tales. I don't know if I've read Unfinished Tales.
I have it. I have not read it because it reads the same as the Silmarillion. Because it's the same thing.
Gotcha.
It's just tales that did not. Well, like I said, they're unfinished, but it's the same format basically. It's just stories that didn't fit into the Silmarillion.
One of my friends was really hoping that with the new show that they're going to talk about the like the other blue wizards. Like that would be interesting because that is something that basically just is not in the books. They're touched that they exist, but then we never hear about anything about them. So I was like, yeah, what have they been doing? Not that it matters, but
I was afraid you were gonna say Tom Bombadil.
you know, I like Tom Bombadil, but
I do as well, but he doesn't need like he has a specific point, and his specific point is that he is a literary device. That follows that was used in an old style of writing. Basically, Tom Bombadil and his realm is the in-between point for a lot of really old religious texts. They follow this pattern of the character leaves what is air quotes heaven. They leave home and they go into a transition period, or they go through a transition that is basically a different world, and then fall into danger that is the world as we know it, like our world. They fall out of heaven through danger into the world, and then have to pass through more danger and trial and tribulation before they can be, air quotes, redeemed and come back home.
I never thought of it that way. I always thought it was just a trick of like literary archiving.
Yeah.
Because it talks about like the Barrow Downs and Tom Bombadil are like leftovers from fallen kingdoms that I always thought Tonga just like wanted to make sure was in the book somewhere, but then didn't expand upon. And it's like, oh, I want to know more about that.
There's certainly like an aspect of that, but I'm pretty sure. I wish I could remember who taught me about this. Some of it does come from my art history class.
Yeah.
There's a video that I watched recently that says part of this, but like there definitely is part of that, right? Because it had to have a narrative reason as well, or it at least had to fit into the world narratively as well. Otherwise, there's no point in having it there.
Yeah.
But it exists as the literary device of Frodo passing out of heaven and into the world. It's the
Interesting.
in-between space.
Yep, I've not
So,
heard that.
yeah.
I'll have to look at that later. I want to learn how to play the lyre. I mean, that's an achievable goal, Oliver.
Yeah, it is.
Just go buy one. Buy one and give it a go.
It's 3 o'clock.
I need a blender brush.
Should we keep going?
No, I'm burned out.
You're burned out?
I'm burned out.
I should probably get some work done. It's a pretty good dragon. Dragon boy. I want to finish this muscle. I gotta give him beefy forearms. It's just required. Dragon elbows. I feel like lizard folk shouldn't have tattoos. Because they just shed their skin. Paint, maybe. Paint seems good.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh my god, it's the flutes. The flutes are back. I think that's a good place to call it. Thanks again, everybody, for hanging out today. Let's see if there's anybody around to raid. Let's take a look. Let's take a look-see. I might just hang around on the Discord and try to get I want to do another. I guess I could draw that now. No, I need to take a break. And figure out what I'm doing. I want to try to get a short out today about the Marloid thing. My lord! Get that out tonight, and then hopefully have something fun for this weekend. Try to get the new video out next Monday, Tuesday-ish, probably Tuesday. So keep your eyes out for that. We'll be back and just doing some stuff, hanging out. Try to have a Christmas party. I think that will be fun. I really wish Twitch would not only let me raid the top 5 people on my list. Like, show me everybody that's online, please. I want to see everybody.
Yeah, I feel that. I want Twitch to have much better organization of presenting the channels you're subscribed to in general. I can only imagine how difficult it must be.
There's actually just not a lot of people on right now, which is sad.
Oh.
I don't think you guys want to watch somebody play Fortnite, so.
I mean, I don't. But I'm on YouTube, so.
All right. I think we're just going to call it. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. What was the other stuff? So we are doing the commission sale right now. So if you want to get something commissioned, a token or something, contact us on Discord or hit us through the email, rookzer0art@gmail.com. Other than that, check out the Patreons. I'm gonna try to send out the stickers as soon as the next batch of stickers comes in. I have to get those printed because I forgot to print one of them. So we'll have to get that, and then hopefully that'll be next week. I'll send that out to the Patreon members, so there's still time. If you want to join the Patreon, you're very welcome to. You get access to all the digital stickers and stuff on the Patreon, or the Discord as well. So I'm sending those out. Other than that, stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. If I don't see you next week, have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, and a wonderful season. Bye, everybody.
Bless